crowd's complete and utter silence. You're silent because you're embarrassed to be here. Honestly, I'm embarrassed for you. And the reason why you're embarrassed is because of the steady stream of uninteresting, untalented, mediocre sports entertainers who you're forced to cheer for and care for. No wonder you're not cheering. You can care less about every single idiot in that dressing room.
Now, here's Joe Cronin.
Wake up, everybody. Wake up, wrestling fans. Wake up from the depths of hell. This show will murder your insides. Holy good God. Good God Almighty. How's everybody feeling in the chat? EC3 in the house tomorrow. Alrighty. Trying to drink as much tea as possible to wake myself up. Playing the Out of Nowhere theme by accident, but that's okay because it's hype. It's got to wake people up. Got to do that.
But I was on the wrong night.
No, it's... I mean, who would know anyway at this point, really? So it's not that crazy.
Yeah,
When you think about
absolutely.
it. What a sleeper tonight.
They decided to do with this booking. I mean, it's been bad, but tonight was exceptionally awful because they had some really decent matches, or at least matchups, and they wasted just about everything with those fluky, dusty finishes. We finally got one solid conclusion, and that made one match shine. But it's in the feud that doesn't really matter. So what's the point anyways? Like, I'm trying to find silver linings from tonight, but
the silver
double
lining,
or nothing.
Some of the wrestling was good. Was the silver lining? Problem is, most of the matches
Yeah,
had no result. So it was like
exactly
okay.
That was the big problem. You get these excellent outings from people, and then it's a non-finish because there's interference or some type of someone coming in and causing chaos. And the only one we got was, of course, the best one of the night, I think, with Riddle and Xavier Woods. That was my favorite match of the night, and I'm glad. I kept saying, when is so-and-so going to come out? When are we going to see insert name here, make their way out to the ring? And I was more distracted, honestly, looking towards the ramp way, thinking that someone will be coming instead of actually giving the match 100% of my attention.
Right.
Because that's what they condition you to think. But this was a great match. This only showcases why Xavier should be a solo star. Same thing as Kofi. The New Day should be no more. This shows you why they each should be on their own. The two solo matches is an exemplary reason why the New Day should be no more. And him and Riddle, basically tore the Thunderdome down. Great match and really cool bit of storytelling with the RKO to finish it. So that was certainly a highlight of the night for me.
But honestly, Jake,
but even that, it was in a feud that doesn't really matter, is what I'm saying. With the whole RK Bro storyline, like who gives a shit about the New Day being a part of this? That doesn't really matter. So him beating the New Day and saying it's for Orton doesn't really do much. I guess we'll see them team again, but really we got a good match for no reason. So thankfully we got a good match.
You want to know what the really was the best part of tonight, though? To be honest, let's be honest.
What's that?
Best part of the night was simply this, and you know it.
Our crowd. I'm ready to traverse the universe and reignite the fire within everyone. We're not just going to show up. We're going to take things to the extreme. Party, 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 party!
I said as soon as I heard that, I said, I hope Joe clips that. I literally said that out loud.
Dude, when he's
thankfully we only got another 2 months of this.
Hard A.
Party, 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 party!
Bro. Oh God, I don't know if I can deal with this tonight.
Party, 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 party!
I like it changed to hard A at the end.
Well, he always does that clap thing during his entrances too. Where he goes ahead and he does the.
Yeah.
Where he's doing like the baby shark, motion. And I always laugh because he stands in the ring and he just claps before and after winning his matches. He does the same thing where he claps for himself. And it's just a very awkward look.
Well,
but I guess he did it with fans are there, of course, but he's done it more during the Thunderdome because I don't think he knows what to do with himself.
I can put up with that, but what he did there is unforgivable.
But all of the promos that these people cut were terrible. Every single one was bad.
What do you mean these people?
One we got tonight was bad, but these superstars, these filthy cretins. But yeah.
Hey, John, you want to watch wrestling? Yeah, you know what? Oh my God, I know Jeff Hardy. Yeah, check this promo out.
Party, 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 party!
I mean, the one Braun cut at the beginning talking about his train was ridiculous. That one was embarrassing. And then you get this. That was even worse. And then there was another one, too.
Oh, my God. Edit them all together and just put circus music over it. Like, dude,
yeah.
Dude, this is what Epstein said to his rape victims.
Party, 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 party!
There you go.
I can't get over it. I can't believe that was a promo. I can't believe that happened on the fucking.
He had to have been drunk. Yeah, he was drunk, and
God.
they put some face paint on and do something. So.
Oh my God, dude! I mean, they think. I'm sorry to be this crass and whatever. And after speaking with some wrestlers over the weekend, clearly people do think that I'm a mean person. But that being said, this show is made for retarded people. They think you are all retards.
People think we're naughty. And we're inappropriate.
Oh,
apparently.
Yeah. Apparently. It's really true. But
I was not exaggerating, now was I?
No. I mean, like, I heard from several wrestlers. They were like, I love you. I think you're actually a wicked nice guy. Like, it's crazy. But, man, there's some people, they don't understand at all what you do. They fucking hate you. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, huh. But I'm like, but you know what? That being said, I'm sorry. They think you guys are, like, all autists.
We're going to take things to the extreme. Party, 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 party!
As close as you can go without giving names. A member of the Dark Order was coming on until we went ahead and, it was like, oh, yeah, I'll talk to you, but not out of nowhere. And it's like, what's the difference?
That's weird.
And they just...
How do they know out of nowhere, though? That's the weird... You would think they wouldn't even know what that is.
Yeah, they just... Well, anything associated with main channel stuff.
That's crazy.
I just can't wait to be back on the road, man. Hardy, 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 Hardy!
Beat me to it. I was going to say that too. It was a Blue Chew commercial.
What?
He's advertising Blue Chew.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go all night. Hardy, Hardy. He's really getting into it.
Well, you know who is coming on is we'll be talking to EC3 tomorrow. So if anybody wants questions, they're posts up on Twitter, and I'll try to get to those with him if I can.
Yeah,
but,
you got some. I even submitted one, but you got some great questions from fans on there. So that's great that he'll be coming on and talking for a little bit. Can't wait to hear what he's up to and how's he doing. So, and he's always got great road stories. That's one of the things I wanted to hear because I'm sure he's got something he'd love to tell that he hasn't had the chance to yet.
Yeah. There's a lot of good things probably that we have.
He's usually a good storyteller. So
big project coming up though. Big announcement tomorrow.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. What happened to Show Buzz Daily? I don't even know. I don't listen to that show, but rest in peace. What happened? I don't know. I've heard them plenty of times of them. So let's drop a dono real quick and hear what people are saying.
Yeah.
If we can get one. Let's see if we get it to play. I'm awkwardly waiting for it to play.
We're trying.
Okay, I'm still waiting. Let's see.
I mean, commentary. Verk really stood out tonight.
Verk was better than usual. Or terrible.
I thought he was worse, honestly. I thought he was worse than last week.
I was kidding. I mean, come on.
All right, that's why I was a bit shocked. I was like, are you serious or not?
No,
Let's see what's going on here. I'm high as well, so work with me, bud.
Yeah. Thanks to J-Mac, the fanatic. I want to say thanks for subbing, man. J-Mac just subbed. And
hell yeah, J-Mac.
Shit bomb! Oh, here it is
You
again.
become a shit bomb.
Nick Grasso.
WTF was that turd of a main event 1/10th?
It was just that, man. It was turd-tacular, I guess, from Monday Night Raw tonight, as expected. Nick Grasso, thanks, man. You are now the top dog, and it looks like you hated Raw as well.
If they're honestly insinuating that was Alexa Bliss causing, the sommelier to go ahead and have those pyro fireworks come up towards his face, and that's, come on, but they can't even show Alexa to like confirm your suspicions.
I mean, there's still
there's nothing to it. Like, why is this going on? Why is this the main event? Why is he still involved? Why do we need to see Reginald at all in any of this? But we've seen this matchup how many times now?
Right.
Odd enough, they didn't switch the belts at Mania when there were crowds actually cheering for Tamina. And then they wait to do it in the Thunderdome with no reaction. And now we've seen the rematch of it a half dozen times. And then they put it as the main event when you have so many better matches tonight that could have been advertised and built up. They had Kofi and Drew basically start the night as a throwaway.
They're just trying to make the men's tag teams like kill themselves. They're like, well, the women
I
are main
guess.
eventing. There's two
because
tag
we didn't
team
see anything really about the men's tag titles that had anything of substance. What? Because AJ was out there for a second. It was less than 2 minutes.
The women tag titles have actually had a decent showing, but a decent something,
But it's just the problem is that it's the same thing ad nauseum.
Yeah.
And now Reginald in, which makes it even worse. I mean, it was a shit sandwich. Now it's got diarrhea gravy. It's just no one wants this.
I'm betting they were lazy and didn't want to have to reset the pyro or whatever. I don't know. Shit bomb. I don't know.
God.
Joe and Jake. I fell asleep through half of Raw. Dawn called himself the conductor of destruction on command.
Dude.
He was the conductor of destruction.
Did he really say
that?
that?
Line was hilarious.
I gotta clip that. Somebody please clip that and get it to me. I swear to God.
Braun sounded like a real just tool. I mean, it was embarrassing.
Yikes, brother. I mean, that is.
He's usually bad, but
Good.
this was like overly scripted, kid-friendly Braun trying to sell WWE tickets.
Oh
so
my God.
It was even worse.
When you get to the arena, you're going to see me, and I'll be choo-chooing down to the ring right in front of all you, and I want all you guys to ride my caboose. I mean, well, that sounds weird. I want you to ride the train with me. Yeah.
All you little kids get these hands. Wait, I don't mean it like that. Oh, damn it.
I want you little kids to get my hams. Let's go.
I mean, just fucking weird. And Jeff Hardy was that promo, dude. I actually woke up. I was actually like asleep almost, and that promo woke me up because I started laughing fucking in hysterics.
Hardy, 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 Hardy!
Hardy at the end. Hardy.
Jacob makes a great point saying what if Vince was never the genius but the people around him? Vince always surrounded himself with smart yes men, and he's had great ideas. I don't want to take that away from Vince. But the problem is he's stuck in a cycle right now, and he has too many yes men, and no one's telling him now that things suck.
No, yeah, here's the thing. It's like anything and anybody. Synergy, man. I mean, look at Monetize this last Friday, right? Like, we didn't have a very good episode, in my opinion. It was all right. I think you should watch it. But I mean, it was weird, right? Like we had no regulars whatsoever were there. It was all call-ins, people that hung out. You know, Luke after 1 hour became insane. You know, and then I'm tired from my day.
I haven't heard it yet, but I heard Luke was needing a therapist.
He was really good, but halfway through he went off the weird. But it just was weird. And you know, and you're like, wow, without anybody else, like Joe is a mess right now. And you know, I think there's some truth, but I think it's when you just mesh with people. Like obviously I'm good on YouTube by myself. I did stuff by myself on YouTube. I was fine by myself doing wrestling rants, reviews. I've done podcasts by myself. It's great. But when you get used to a lot of people around you helping out, you start giving them more power, giving them more responsibility. You start making more shows to get new people on those shows. And you have all these different shows like I had, right? And what goes up must come down. I had 10 co-hosts that were solid. Like basically like almost 8 of you in a way, you know, if you think about it. Now it's like, you know, with Drew being on vacation and Jesse being insane, you know, those two not being around, it's kind of like, you know, you don't know who's going to be there. And so what happens is I'm not quite prepared necessarily to have all these different shows that used to have all these different co-hosts, you know, when JB left and other people left and stuff like that. And what happens is that's why I canceled, you know, some of my shows, because I was like, well, what am I going to do? Be on every show myself? You know, so it makes more sense for me to localize and do a solo show more constantly and then do the shows with you and you're sick sometimes. And it's like, you know, Vince McMahon needs to realize what's going on here. Vince McMahon right now is surrounded by these fucking just plain old boring yes men, but he doesn't care because he's got the support system. He's got it going. The show's going. They're making the money. So
exactly, he's making more money than he's ever made ever before.
Right, and like I wouldn't change anything if things were bad.
Record-breaking profit margins.
Right.
Greatest ever. And that's without being on tour and without working their asses off week in and week out in the sense of traveling, touring, and doing this rigorous schedule.
Yeah.
They've just been sitting in the same place and writing garbage and getting away with it. So it works. Yeah. It doesn't for us as fans, but for Vince, it works. You can't deny if maybe we would be different because we have morals. I mean, you never know what someone's going to be like in that position. I don't know. But if they offered me $50 million to, you know, agree with Vince for all this, would I give up my morals? That's a lot of money, you know? That's the thing. So you say now, be like, I'd tell Vince what to do. But then next thing you know, he's signing you a $5 million check to be his right-hand man and agree with everything he says. That money is going to get you a lot of agreement, you know?
That's, and once they hit every state one time, it's pretty much going to be over. It's going to be a wake-up call. Yeah. And
they're only going to scoped out specific areas that are already open, so you know it's already like a bit of a guaranteed success. People are more willing there to go to events and things like that. But I wonder how it's going to be in more liberal areas like the East Coast, you know, that are still keeping towards masks, even though the mandate has kind of lifted and things like that. Let's see what happens there. Are people going to be willing to go to events, concerts, tours, you know, live wrestling?
I was at a show yesterday with 200 people. I don't know how many people are allowed, like 6. I'm looking at the NHL. Like the NHL, the Boston Bruins in Boston, obviously. They're allowing in, I think it was 6,000 people could be there, or it was 25% capacity. They're trying to get to 50% capacity by the time the next round comes up or something.
And will they hit that even though they have it? You know, that's the question.
Yeah, the Bruins will, but the WWE might not because
WWE might, because they were not selling well before the pandemic. Right. They had to consolidate the hard camera side by moving people over and setting up tarps.
Yeah,
for quite some time that was a running joke on this show.
Yeah, I think if you allowed the building to be sold out after maybe a couple of live shows. If you allowed the building to be sold out, it wouldn't sell out. It definitely would not sell out. There's not enough people watching the show. So, what is there? Say there's 1.8 million people watching Raw right now. Let's look back when we were having the tarp issues. right? Look back on Raw when there was two whole tarped off areas and a half. There was 2.5
I was
tarped
offered
off.
tickets. Do you remember? I had tickets that if you and I wanted to go, we got contact, and I got it this time when they were in Hartford, and we both decided just not to go because it was going to be the marriage episode of Bobby Lashley. Remember?
Yeah.
You and I were like, why go out of our way for a wedding episode that no one wants to be at? And it ended up being like one of the worst episodes of Raw in quite some time. It was the live gay angle and all that crap, and that went nowhere. So
that was the only hot thing about it, was the gay angle.
Thankfully, we avoided, but it went nowhere. But thankfully, we avoided a massive bullet with that one. But
yeah,
that's the point. We had a chance to go for free and chose not to go. Now you're expecting us to buy tickets to this?
But that was like at that point I think there was 2.4 to 2.3 million people watching.
Yeah, it's still better than what we have to deal with now.
Like,
I think
you're literally since that moment, 500,000 people are not watching.
Not more at times. Yeah,
almost 500,000 people, like 300,000 to 500,000 people are not watching this show anymore.
100,000 at times because they've gone down to 1.6 from 2.4 to 1.6.
But I'm saying, like, on the best night, usually they still hit a 1.8 or something, or 1.7, and at the time they were 2.3. So, I mean, and listen, here's one thing that does make up for it a little bit, that does help them sometimes. And by the way, this happens a lot in the chat. This is a really important thing what I'm about to say. I've been to wrestling shows in Boston several times. You guys know this, right? I've had a lot of shows. When I'm at a show, I can't tell you how many times I'm overhearing conversations with one person who knows what's going on and other people that don't, or just a whole group of people that don't know. They go, man, I remember, I haven't been here in 7 years. I was here when this, man, I remember 99, like The Rock was over here and that was the night that blah, blah. And I'll talk to people and I'll realize, oh shit, you don't watch the current product. You're literally here because WWE was in town and you wanted to like feel the nostalgia. So,
something you grew up on and haven't watched since childhood.
I'm sure the New Yorkers know what I'm talking about, but Boston for sure is filled with that. It's like, I would say,
the garden is growing with it.
Like 15% of the people in the arena don't really watch the show that much. They're there because of the history and whatever else. It's fucking crazy. And so if you take that away, I don't know, man, then you got half the arena. Half the arena that's there is actually watching the show, which makes sense because when you do the math, you're like, how can they sell that many tickets in all these areas, but the ratings are so bad? And
and the thing is, we've been to quite a few shows recently, the past 10 years. And I remember more of what happened when I was younger than I do than any of the things we went to recently.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But everyone's like that. That's a short-term memery thing. That's, to be honest.
I swear. But I also feel like less stands out as compared to them.
Yeah, it all blurs together, a lot of it.
Yeah, because nothing feels new or memorable or exciting. There are some things that stand out. I remember, Shane getting put through the window and like, oh, that stood out by AJ. Like that was AJ really stuff. Good. And
the promo by Samoa Joe with AJ, like Shane jumping off the cage at WrestleMania.
Yeah, there's certain things that you're like, wow. But I have more nostalgia and memories from earlier moments that I could, name by the dozens, sometimes multiples from each night and wrestling that I was at.
I can't remember almost anything of the current time. I think the last time where I could sort of remember some things happening was CM Punk. I think once he left, I feel like after CM Punk left, I don't remember too much. I think the Daniel Bryan WrestleMania was the last one. And then I think of WrestleMania 31 a bit too, like the Seth Rollins, Randy Orton match, and that WrestleMania a little bit. But I'm telling you, man, the Raws, nothing.
Yeah, the last one that I went that stood out was it was like dual fold because AJ Lee was kind of like doing her Raw GM thing.
Oh,
at that point. And she was doing everybody at that point. She was making out with Kane and having some type of like love triangle thing with Daniel Bryan and CM Punk and all that stuff. And that's when Vader came back for that week to wrestle for the build up to Raw 1000.
Right.
And it was just a cool moment to see him come back. And even though it was just a squash Heath Slater really quick. I've always been a big, Leon guy, and it was awesome to see him wrestle in person, even for a few seconds.
His mask was gross.
Yeah.
He hit me in the face with his mask, bro. It was nasty.
Yeah. I imagine that thing never washed, I'm sure.
I was fired up, though. I lie. I was like, yeah, that was fucking crazy. I've been watching this guy since I was 5. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, just to see him in person was incredible. Even though it was a silly squash match was great. So
yeah, it's funny. He was like, "No, oh yeah, man. So what's your name again?" And I was like, "Oh yeah," and then he goes, "Why are you hanging around with a turd?" And I was like, "Well, that's my friend JD." And he was like, "No, I thought it was a turd." And I'm like, "No." It was crazy. It was weird. It was a weird night. And then it was kayfabe was sniffing all the women in the front row. It was a wonderful time. But moving on from.
She can't do that.
What?
You let Connor off his leash. You know that.
I didn't do it. Don't blame me. All right.
Someone's supposed to watch him. It wasn't my turn.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know. I'm not sure. I'm sure someday the allegations will come out. I was supposed
to warn you. I know.
I could smell his dick. That's all I'll say.
Well.
Are you ready for this? Are you fucking ready, Jake? Are you ready for Attitude Era Kids donation? Are you ready, Kenny Omega?
Oh, theatrical wrestling.
Are you ready for this?
What are your thoughts on the Varsity Blondes? I really like this pairing, but Brian can't cut a promo to save his life.
The Varsity Blondes. I wouldn't agree. Okay, here's the thing.
It doesn't matter anymore because the Young Bucks killed them the other night, so they're destroyed as is.
Now you're being taboo by bringing up AEW on WWE Raw Review, but first of all, I just called Brian Pillman's match the other day with Teddy Goods, and let me tell you something. That was a lot of fun. The people go watch it on Title Match Wrestling because I think it's free. I don't think they put it behind the paywall yet. I don't know if it's by accident or whatever. But if you can, please use coupon code Cronin. You'll get 50% off for 3 months.
There's so much wrestling content on there. Incredible.
Oh, my God, dude. There's so much wrestling content. There's a million shoot interviews. There's tons of pay-per-views from all these companies. It's fucking crazy, and you can watch all my commentary. Just look up the New England All-Star Wrestling show from the other night. I tweeted it out if you want the link. Main event was Brian Pillman Jr. and Teddy Goods. Our old friend Teddy Goods, man. He's always in the main events, and this is a different company than Top Rope. So shout out to Teddy. It was a real fun time. Had a blast. Talk about it more later. But no, this isn't an AEW show, but me and Jake already kind of covered this. And I think me and Jake both agree on this. And I was less impressed than Jake, but the promo can't cut a promo to save his life. I thought he cut a promo. It wasn't that bad. It was nice, but it wasn't, it was a good guy, rah, we're going out there, I guess, and we're just going to do our best.
Designed and instructed to do, but he made great sense, and he was coming off of the current, popularity swell of his father again.
It's not great, but it's...
No, but they're still green, but that's kind of the story they were trying to, I thought, tell with them a bit, because they were all working together. Julia Hart's green, Griff Garrison's new, everybody's kind of...
They need a manager, though. They do need a mouth. Get him a manager.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That'd be great. They need someone that's equivalent to, a Jake the Snake, but a face version of that. Jake the Snake is too heel for them, which is why he doesn't fit with Lance Archer anymore. But
they need Jim Cornette. They need Jim Cornette.
Dynamite 2 Fridays.
If they had Jim Cornette, it'd be fire.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That would be great. But I know he wouldn't go anywhere near there at this point, unfortunately.
Man, but they need something like a Jim Cornette, man.
Oh, that would be amazing. They would be instantly straight over, and he could have them as faces still with his mouthpiece. It would be incredible.
I wish I wasn't blacklisted. I would.
Fridays. This is just this Friday that they're going because of a schedule conflict. But it's also Double or Nothing weekend, so they're preparing for that. So it kind of all fits anyway. So we have Friday Night Dynamite, and then Saturday you'll prepare for the pay-per-view on Sunday. So going to be a hell of a weekend for AEW. And soon enough, starting in August, you'll have their Friday night show, which will be 10 o'clock. And that'll be, every Friday. So it'll be good.
More shit to do on a Friday night. Unbelievable. Well, that may even play into monetize this moving in a good way that it moved to Saturday, because that would.
I'm kidding, because we might see Dynamite move to Fridays when it goes to TBS.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen.
And then we have a real Friday night war between SmackDown and Dynamite.
By the way, I want to say one more thing to plug the sponsors here, our buddies at Title Match Network. I mean, it's coincidental that I'm friends with Title Match Network because the companies that I work for happen to also be partnered with them. So it's kind of a double thing, where it's my commentary is over there with multiple indie companies, and you guys have a code. So I just want to say that Telly over there is a great guy. It's a great channel. It's a great website. It's obviously many established companies are over there. So many Mission Pro Wrestling Syndicate, CZW, New England All-Star Wrestling, and like hundreds more that you guys know. And I just want to say that they've been telling me that you guys, a lot of you signed up yesterday. So that was really cool, man. We had a lot of signups yesterday with coupon code Cronin. The $9.99 gets cut in half for 3 months, and that's more than enough time to enjoy a lot of content. So please, thank you so much, man. Almost every other day there's a live wrestling show streaming from the website or their app. And it's a really awesome site. It's actually better than Peacock. The WWE Network was better, but now this is fucking better than Peacock as far as indie wrestling goes. So
I was going to say that before, and people would be like, "Oh, you're just being a kiss ass," but it is true because of right now they actually Peacock with the amount of content they have, because Peacock doesn't have a full selection yet either.
Right,
they really have them beat by a mile, because I'm not even exaggerating. It's like 10,000 hours easy.
Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah, I mean, there was yesterday. I did have trouble at one point figuring out where the stream was, but I was actually trying to do it while I was at the event. So I think I heard from one person who said like they couldn't figure something out. But for the most part, it's working pretty good. But I also would really love you guys to give me the feedback on the site. What do you think works on the site? What don't you like about the site? What do you think could be fixed about the site? If you have any of that feedback, let me know. I'm in contact with the guy who owns it, runs it, and all that stuff. And he would love to hear some of that feedback. I don't think he gets enough of that. And with you guys being like, you guys are no bullshit type of people. You'll be like, Joe, what the fuck with this? And so because of that, I think you guys are super valuable. If you guys are going over to Title Match Wrestling Network and giving it a try, let me know about suggestions that you might have, because it will be invaluable to them, and they are, sponsoring the show at the time a little bit. So let's make some love over at Title Match Wrestling. Okay, what's next? Let's get this show sucked tonight, but what do you got?
This show is all. It really was.
Rosa.
I mean, it starts off and you get the same thing over and over. Drew is going to interrupt the Hurt Business. We know that's just a bunch of recap from the week before about Kofi beating Lashley, or as he calls him, Bob. And we eventually get Kofi to come out as well. Everybody's claiming that they're going to be the next champ or the next one to face him. Adam Pearce comes out, says there's a way to settle it, and books him in a match. Winner faces Lashley at Hell in a Cell. Now we go into the match. And they go on for 21 minutes here, almost 22 minutes, actually. And then it's a no contest because MVP and Lashley have to get involved for another DQ finish. Why? So they're going to have the match again next week. So why not just not have this match open the show and save it for next week and build it up for next week?
Why have that much of the match is the real question, right?
Well, that's
what
why
the hell?
Have this much of the match and do a 22-minute match for nothing? You got nowhere at all whatsoever.
That's the thing I was mad about the most, was that they went
but here's
so
the thing,
long.
They had a couple of really nice moves, Joe, but they made Drew look like an idiot. I can't tell if they made Drew look really, really weak here or if they made Kofi look super strong. I don't know what it is. But
well,
Drew
I'll tell you what
should not
it
have
is.
had this much of a hard time with Kofi, and especially they made Drew look moronic because he would hit him with a massive move. He hits him with this great Michinoku driver.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, looks great. And then he has to go stand on the second rope to jaw and friggin', basically emote at Bobby Lashley. Pin him. What are you doing? Why would you not win the match? Why do you have to go and flaunt and taunt to Bobby? It makes him look so ridiculous, and they're weakening him, but that's because they need a way to get to a commercial break.
Right.
And then the second time he does it, now Bobby
Well, you
Lashley's
just answered your own
down
question.
to the ring.
You just answered your question then.
But that's what I'm saying. But why have that? It makes
Well,
him
Jake,
look ridiculous.
I'll tell you what they should have done.
Diminish the main character.
Here's what they should have done. Michinoku driver, 1-2, kick out. Drew's look of intensity and like that he's upset he didn't get the 3. They zoom in on his face and they go, "We got to go to commercial." And then the other guy says, "Oh my, no, not now. The match could end." And then that's it. Like they go to commercial. Then you'd be like, "Shit, what's gonna happen?" But
Have Lashley, I'm pointing at my watch, and that's his whole like, time's up. That wouldn't lead to anything. It's ridiculous. But like you said, they have to get a way to get to commercial. There's a million better ways to do it, but none of this should have happened. They should have just built up this match to next week and had it only once, or they could have saved this match for the pay-per-view, had their number 1 contendership inside a Hell in a Cell, and do something different.
oh my God, Jake. Oh my God. Oh, is this real?
Hell in a Cell, number 1 contendership on the line.
Oh,
where they
no.
can kill each other?
Jake, he's here. Jake, he's on the Joe Cronin show. He's here.
Hardy, Hardy, Hardy,
Oh, shit.
Hardy, Hardy,
Oh my God, it's Jeff Hardy.
Hardy, Hardy,
Yeah, we got Hardy.
Hardy, 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 Hardy.
Hardy, 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 Hardy!
Hardy, 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 Hardy!
Come on! Hardy!
I can't believe it. Out of nowhere. Thanks, Jeff. Have a seat over there. Jeff, it's really good to have you here on the Joe Cronin show. What's been up, man? Tell me about it.
Yeah, I'm just so happy to be here, man. I don't even know. I love that the WWE's giving me this opportunity to be here and to be a part of Raw. I love it. I love it simply. I just want to say this one thing. I'm ready to go back on the road. I'm ready to go back on the road driving on, of course, I'll be driven by someone else so I don't kill myself while drunk, but I'm ready to go. Hardy! Hardy! Wow. Wow. Thanks, Jeff. That's really nice.
Not to embarrass you live, but this bottle of pills fell out of your pocket. It says.
Now that's not funny. That's not funny, man. I'll fuck you up.
Jeff
You wanna
Hardy, OxyContin.
It's not
Jeff.
funny, man. I'll fuck you up. You want me to fuck you up?
I'm sorry.
Fuck
I was
off.
just trying to get your stuff back.
Don't
Here,
fucking do
here.
that, man. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. I came back to the WWE to have a good time, not to be patronized by a scumbag like you. I'm out of here. Fuck this. Fuck this whole.
I'm sorry, Jeff. You're the one that brought the cocaine to share.
Oh, Jake, what the fuck are you doing, man? We're never gonna have anybody on this show. If
He's
you do
the one
this.
that brought the cocaine platter.
Stop
He was
saying
like, try
that.
this.
What? I don't. That's no cocaine. What are you saying that for? That's fucking not funny.
But it literally had the tinfoil. It said cocaine on top of
get
it.
the
He
fuck.
opened it with a
you're
knife
a
and
fucking
just.
piece of shit. You are. Is what you are. You're really an asshole.
I was just trying to give him the meds back.
Hardy, 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 Hardy!
Oh, they
man.
brothers pills. I'm sorry, I messed that up. That's why he was upset.
Unbelievable. All right.
Crazy.
There's really nothing. I mean, okay. Let me tell you guys about the only thing I gave a shit about tonight. I'm gonna tell you about the only. There's two things. I would tell you the two things I like tonight, real quick, because there's not much. Number one, Shayna Baszler is awesome. Shayna Baszler is the best women's heel. She's the best women's heel going. Sometimes she does the cringy things and whatever, and they all do, but tonight she was really good in the face at the end when she yelled at that guy and said, "If you have the balls," like, or something. That was my favorite part of the show because it seemed realer than most other things that were going on. She's
always intimidating and threatening and very just. She has that demeanor to make you feel just beneath her, like a lesser person. I'm telling you, I've seen, when she was wrestling in NXT, it was crazy. She comes out with just this dominance, and it was like, damn, she makes people in the audience back down. Now they're not showcasing her as such, which is really disappointing.
Yeah, a little bit more. I wish she was a little bit more like psychotic or whatever.
Yeah, she doesn't have to be robotic to where she doesn't sell and kills everybody. I don't want that Baszler. But I want, she doesn't have to be on a perfect win streak, but I like the one that originally came in and just destroyed everyone in the Hell in a Cell or Elimination Chamber because no one stood a chance and no one was her equal. But then, she had a real, challenger in somebody else. That's the point. Okay, you can have that. Charlotte be your actual opponent. All right, cool. But you don't actually get anything decent because we never got the rest of the storyline with her. It just all fizzled after Becky Lynch. She was just done for.
Yeah,
so.
and I the other thing is just that I liked I know you'll have more to say about this probably than I do, but I did like the Riddle thing. I loved the RKO, I guess, and I thought his match was good, really good for him. They're trying to raise him up.
To wait for the screw job finish.
Ryback, get out of the chat, Ryback! You son of a bitch, Ryback! Get him out of here! Get him out of here! Get him out of here!
Sir, yes, sir.
I'm gonna fuck your family. How about that, Joe? I'm gonna fuck your family.
How is he getting through the airwaves right now?
I don't know how he gets through the firewall. Each time he finds a way to hack in.
I can see what your wife's doing right now, and I'm gonna finish her. She's finishing on.
Oh, get all right. That's it.
Oh, fuck off! Get out of here, right? Oh my god!
Piece of
all right,
shit.
we got Ryback out of here. What the fuck? How is he getting through this fucking firewall? Fuck him. Cocksucker.
He was using a foreign IP address.
All right. Well, listen. All right. So tell me what you think about this Matt Riddle match.
That can't be right.
Get off the steroids, cry baby.
Ryback in Thailand. That's just weird.
What about Thailand?
That can't be. Apparently, Ryback came in from Thailand. Why would he be in
see,
Thailand?
Ryback's fucking up the connection so much, you were just jittering all in and out and all over the place. So that's probably Ryback's fault too, this scumbag.
Bitch, trying to hack us.
Wait a minute. What's the Ryback rap donation? Somebody hit me with the Ryback. He hates it. Dude, somebody fucking talked about it on his stream the other day and he flipped out, guys. And I'm gonna clip. I have the clip. The $32 Ryback rap donation. He hates it. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, Jake.
I was happy that Nikki Cross was back and she still is.
Nikki!
I do like her in the ring. She's
about to be let go.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, and because same thing we saw with Wolf the week before, like he gets beat down and then next day he's fired.
That's all I could think was like, oh, she's going away soon. Like it's
well, because it was a 2-minute challenge, I really thought she was gonna get beaten, just get destroyed. Like here it comes, and that didn't happen, and I was shocked. And then afterwards, I'm like, oh, Charlotte's coming out now. Charlotte's gonna beat her down in 2 minutes and really show her. Watch.
Right.
We go to commercial. We come back. And they're doing another touring video, and they have Damian Priest talking about how he's so cool and he barely spoke English and come see him because I'm the Archer and whatever else shit. Then they go ahead and they show a recap of McIntyre and Kofi. Then they go backstage talking to McIntyre and Kofi, and they're in Pierce's office saying that they're going to do it next week to have the fight with each other. Then we come back from another commercial, and Asuka's making her entrance.
Yeah.
So what happened to Cross? What was the point of that?
I don't know.
I guess it was just over. Like Rhea Ripley lost because she didn't beat her in enough time, and then Charlotte came out and laughed at her, and then Asuka came out for their match. Like I guess that was it, but it was just a very weird and clunky transition, at least.
Yeah, I thought she would. I didn't know it was like a beat the clock thing. I thought you could actually still continue the match. I didn't know it was just going to end like that either. But
as well, like it just the whole thing was very like, oh, so she's going to squash her in 30 seconds because there's a 2-minute limit, and we got down to 10 seconds, and I saw it get to the end. I'm like, oh, now it'll keep going, and see how long it actually takes to beat her. But no, she won because she survived 2 minutes with the champ.
So I mean, maybe Nikki's not leaving then. Maybe because this kind of like makes her not look like shit, and then also makes
she looks good through all of this. It was just very weird the way they ended it and kind of capped it off because they had Charlotte come out and then she laughed at Rhea, but then that was it. But Nikki was the one trying to get a title shot here. So,
do you want to talk about what's been going on for the last 3 days on social media and stuff, which is that Keith Lee potentially is released or is leaving or something or has diabetes? There's been a lot of
He's asking for more time now before he has to explain what's going on, and the fans, some people are just leaving him be, but other people are bothering him, and obviously Mia Yim is saying that Keith Lee's business is nobody's business and his WWE status is his and his alone.
Mm.
I mean, it's getting messy at this point, but fans want to know, like, if he's not sick or under surgery, then why is he not on TV?
Yeah.
Keith Lee said to the people offering uplifting words, I appreciate it. And worry not, when I say I am limitless, I mean it. I will try to find a way to explain everything in the most efficient way possible. Give me just a little bit more time.
That tells me he may be going for doctor's appointments, and he's waiting to hear himself. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like he's me waiting for answers. So
yeah, I mean, because you don't want to come out and say the wrong thing. You don't want to come out and say, "Oh, they think I might have this, and they're working on it." Like, you don't want to do that. You're not going to do that. So I just realized I never tagged tonight's show whatsoever. Didn't tag it at all, which makes a pretty big difference.
It does indeed. So, and I mean. Dana Warrior obviously was slightly showcased, but I didn't see the full A&E Warrior biography. It wasn't something that I was greatly interested in anyways. I started it.
Oh man, I watched a clip of it, and about the ex-wife. Did you see that?
No, not yet.
Oh my god, dude, I couldn't take my eyes off it. And you know something, Jake? You and everybody else have been telling me about the A&E show with the hunting the legend, the gear and stuff.
Yeah,
I couldn't,
ridiculous.
I couldn't take my eyes off it though. I was watching it like, this is better than Raw. This is better than SmackDown.
It's got tons of good nostalgia moments. It's just I wish it wasn't as staged as it was. I don't know how to word it, but it's still a fun idea. Hopefully this does lead to Vince. Like, why is he procuring all these things? Hopefully it does lead to an actual Hall of Fame.
The Patriots gave the new QB number 50.
Really?
Who the fuck has a number 50? As a QB?
I don't know.
Anyway, but no.
So somebody brought up to Dana Warrior as she posted a picture saying, do you know about Darkseid doing a documentary on Warrior coming out this Thursday? Did you approve of this? Please let us know. And Dana said, I had no part in this project. Smut and filth does not rise to my note. So she called, everything to deal with Dark Side of the Ring smut and filth.
Whoa.
But yet people are saying that the Ultimate Warrior biography that A&E did, I know, like I said, I've yet to finish it, but they're saying that really showcased him in like a softer light, like a better image of him, since Vince was really trying to like use revisionist history. And it seems like the Dark Side people are actually telling the truth, and that's an issue
not the trailer I saw. The trailer I saw was about infidelity. So it was like his ex-wife was like crying and telling the story of how she caught him cheating by looking at his notebook, where each town there was a different girl's name, and she'd always heard that you don't be worried about the guys that your man is with, you'd be worried about losing everything to a girl or something. And she's like crying and it's building and building. This 3-minute preview is building and building. And then it builds with her crying and the Ultimate Warrior, and she goes, and that's when I called his hotel randomly one day to get him on the phone. He didn't know it was me or something. And then she heard the girl in the background, and when she couldn't find him for a while, she said. And so, it's sort of like that's the fucking trailer for the Ultimate Warriors thing. But you know what? Listen, that's not burying someone, telling the honest story about somebody. We all want that. We all want the bad and the good. Now, the Ultimate Warrior, the self-destruction of Ultimate Warrior was like...
That was a hit job. And
it was just...
intentionally trying... But it was entertaining as all hell, but it was intentionally a bad light for him because they were mad at him still.
Yeah, they all just buried him.
And it was a call to action to make him eventually open his eyes and reconsider coming back. Like, that was hopefully, to rekindle a bridge down the road. And it did work, but...
Doesn't that... Jesus Christ.
That's the story anyways, but it was a hit job, but...
Yeah, they made him... I would have said, fuck you to them. I'd never go back. You did that. To me, but... the alts, which, you'll see in my fucking life too. But, hopefully it's... But anyway, it seems like it's good, so I can't wait to watch it. Now, somebody else mentioned the Keith Lee thing, so we brought it up. We don't know. I guess you just gotta wait, man, until he tells you what's going on. But something tells me it's not it's medical related now. It feels like
It seems that way. And yeah, the dark side stuff this whole season has been compelling and fantastic as always. These guys do very great storytelling, vivid storytelling. The Combat in Korea one was really cool to hear all the history with, about Muhammad Ali and everything. That was cool.
yeah.
And they've had some really good episodes this season so far. I wasn't crazy. I've never been a big deathmatch fan. So the Nick Cage thing was, like I said, I finally watched that. And Nick Gage, excuse me, I always fuck his name up. Like I said, not for me because I've never been big into those death matches, but it was still an interesting story to hear
Right.
about all of his stuff. And funny how there's Moxley yelling in an interview saying like, "You wear a face covering like a robber to the ring, and when you rob a bank, you don't cover your face, you idiot." So it was funny, but
That's pretty funny. Yeah, and I don't know familiar with him as much either. Like Abdullah the Butcher, I'd watch because I'd known him for so many years, and I didn't really like his type of stuff either. But because you heard about him for so long, seeing a documentary on him is like interesting. But like for someone else like
I
that,
said, the only thing I ever knew was the Arquette thing, and that's only because that went viral with TMZ and stuff.
remember
so.
the Joey Janela little documentary thing that was on YouTube? That was good. Like even that was really good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was
I knew about Janela's crazy jump, but like I didn't really think too much about it. Like I didn't, I saw it once and was like, "Holy shit, this guy's fucking crazy." Oh well, on to the next thing. And I'm like,
speaking of crazy, Buck Bagwell just got 11 charges against him. The Georgia Gazette is reporting that he was speeding, failure to yield when entering an intersection. He gave false data to a police officer. Then he has a hit and run. Following too closely, reckless driving, driving within a median, driving under the influence of drugs, duty upon striking a fixed object, driving on the wrong side of the road, and having an open container. So he was also drinking and under the influence of drugs.
awesome.
So,
Awesome.
yeah, he just got bonded out today on the 24th, so he's no longer incarcerated. He did spend a couple of days in the slammer for that litany of charges. Hopefully he can clean up his act because that is quite a list. So,
Well, there is more entertainment in the Leafs game tonight too. By the way, no, actually, you know what? There was more entertainment in the Tampa Bay Lightning game. To be honest, there was than Raw. I mean, people asking me
with Raw, we know they're in even more of a holding pattern now because they're just really stretching everything out. They said Edge will return July 16th to SmackDown because that'll be huge because that's when they go back to touring, and that's when Sasha Banks is advertised, and that's when, and they're doing all of these things, and it doesn't mean John Cena won't be around either because his Peacemaker HBO Max series wraps up shooting on July 7th, so he could make the July 16th showing up for Raw or SmackDown as well.
right.
So, I mean, they could do this. Cena can come back. That's been rumored heavily. We know Edge is going to return that date. That's been confirmed. Finn Balor has already said that he wants to make a main roster return.
Oh.
So there's that as well. He's facing, he wants to go back against Brock Lesnar at some point, he had said, but we don't know if that'll ever happen. That's just dream match stuff. But still, point is, he might return to the main roster. So there's people that they want to use. They have planned to bring up several stars from NXT to both Raw and SmackDown. This is coming from Fightful. They said that that's gonna include talent from NXT and NXT UK, but they don't know who yet. As they already called up Rick Boogs.
Right. Oh yeah. I didn't see him yet, but I saw
he
the
was playing
tweets about it.
Nakamura's face theme to the ring the other day.
Oh. I saw the clips, but
SmackDown.
I didn't know what really happened.
That was it. He's just playing him to the ring.
Okay.
So it's a cool spot for him at this point, I guess. I was never a big fan of his, but all in all now, it's people are speculating themselves who's going to be the next to be called up. And originally we heard that it wasn't going to be anybody major like an Adam Cole, but now they're really considering it. So let's see what happens. But they want people and big names from NXT to be there when they go back on the road to draw people in to buy tickets. And it makes sense. Star power, they need it.
Yeah. I mean, it does make sense. And especially Cena, he probably is in a weird thing where he's like, I'm going to help them out or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Otherwise, I don't know why he would come back during this time. I would probably stay away still during pandemic, going on. I don't know, though. It's fucking, they're going, thank God we're getting out of the Thunderdome. I don't care if there's fucking 500 people there. just get us out of this place. It was cool though for a while, and you got to give it to them for coming up with it in the way they did, because I mean, do you remember before they ever did any of it and we were talking about it, like, why don't they put TV screens up everywhere and do and then it was funny that we were coming up with that, and then they did that. I mean, I'm not saying they took our idea. I'm not doing that thing where they took our idea, but they were on the same a lot of people were saying the same thing of like, that you could do. What about, remember I think I said like put tablets up or everywhere. Like, I had no idea what the fuck I was saying. I never thought, oh, the LED boards could stretch across and be divided. I didn't even think about that. So that was really cool. They got to that pretty quickly. Like they were probably working on it before I even said it. Maybe.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm sure they were considering something, but still, the fact of what they came up with, it wasn't a bad idea, but they should have relinquished it much sooner, I feel like. AEW Dynamite has had at least 1,000 fans in attendance for a long time. They could have done something similar with where they were. They could have just canceled out the Thunderdome. Even if they had the same 1,000 fans every week, pretty much what they're doing for Dynamite, it would have been fine, so long as you had live people there.
Well, let's drop into the donos, guys. Let's see what you guys are saying. Here they come, and here they go. That was Gary Powell who subscribed, man. What up, Gary? Thanks for subbing, man. I don't have my drinking beer subscriber alert up yet, so sorry about that, man. We should be pouring a beer for Gary, but instead the zombie walk is going on.
We got a new member. Yes. Oh, I'm hard. I'm so good. Oh my God, I'm hard for the new member.
Ooh. And Glorious 1.0, our friend Glorious 1.0 has become a member once again, which is a couple bucks a month, and he gets all the cool badges and stuff down below in the cool green icon. And man, thank you, Glorious, for going above and beyond and becoming a member down below. That's 2 months in a row, man. Thank you so much, bro. Yeah. Ooh, this is a big one.
Only saw Sheamus in main event. Umberto did good, but Ricochet coming in? He's already been dominated too.
I don't get it.
Now 2-on-1 versus Sheamus. Then Ray burned again, predictable and dumb. Maybe Alexa wants to ride Reggie's caboose, so she comes after Nia.
Diverse, what up, Diverse? Yeah, I get why they both attack Sheamus, so that's fine, I guess. But in all reality, just make up your minds and go with one of the guys versus Sheamus. Why does there have to be? But how about Humberto Carrillo being okay? We were worried about him. So that's really good news. We thought he was fucking out. I forgot all about that. Like, we thought
last week, I did follow it up. I mentioned it, I believe, on AEW briefly.
I missed it. I totally forgot.
He was okay, but it ended up just being a fluke thing where they thought he was really injured, and thankfully that wasn't the case. So
man,
yeah.
He looked bad on that. So
he
like
brutalized. I thought he was done for. So it was amazing that it was just a quick thing, and he didn't have any stinger or after effects or traumatic injury anywhere.
I thought it was like an ACL or hamstring.
Yeah,
tear
we thought it was a terrible tear or some type of real serious injury.
Yeah, you know what? We haven't put any hate points up at all on Raw. The hate points record is 112 for Raw. We don't have any hate points for Raw tonight. I just realized that.
Yeah, start throwing in those hate points. And
well,
Eddie Edwards,
it should be sleep points. People probably sleeping. Surgery.
Yeah, I bet, some people did definitely fall asleep. No doubt about that tonight with Raw. I mean, the way they paced everything, too. You get certain feuds and you go 40 minutes into Raw for a no contest finish. Like, you want to change the channel just out of spite. It's like, you've wasted my time. It's 8:44. We're going into a commercial break, and you're showing me another Evolution vignette. The first one of 3 or 4 of the night. I know there was multiple, and it was ridiculous. And it's like, come on, like, this is what we get. Honestly. So we go through all of this for a no contest MVP Lashley get involved, DQ finish. So already you're insulted. You don't want to stay with it. Then we get kind of a silly thing backstage, but Nikki Cross is there. Charlotte passes up the match, says that, Ripley can't do it herself. We talked about this. It was a surprise that she won. And then a weird transition into Charlotte and Asuka. But that match overstayed its welcome as well, because Charlotte even said it in the match. I've already beaten Asuka. And it's like, yes, we've seen you beat Asuka many times. You've done it at WrestleMania. You've done it after Mania. You've done it on Raw. You've done it at the Rumble. You've done it, you know, with green eggs and ham. It's just
I thought you were. I didn't know where you were gonna go with this. I'm like, what the fuck?
Seriously, we've seen her just beat Asuka for no reason, time and time again.
Well, Asuka's done after tonight.
Asuka's finished. There's nothing up to her, and I want her to be done with this company now. I want to see her go.
Oh, really? Okay, so like, I guess I'm not like where you are. I don't think she's done. I just think she's like right now done. Like she's in a slump, and at some point later down the road, she's gonna have to reemerge as really good again. But right now, she's done. Like, I mean,
she's like bottom of the barrel right now. I'm not saying she can't be rehabbed, but I don't know that they will ever put enough effort into her to do so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like they're just going to have her be a jobber. You know, she'll get a pop from the live crowd because she walks out and does her, you know, hand dance, and people will emulate that with the merch that they can pick up of the face masks that they'll continue to push.
Right.
And that's it. They'll just use her as an entrance, and then she'll get beat in the ring, and she'll be another Jeff Hardy-esque. I mean, Jeff should be a superstar, and instead he's getting beat every time he's out there.
Dude.
I mean, he doesn't have to not win, but he should be like, when it happens, he should be like, damn, he just beat Jeff Hardy. That cemented this guy's legacy. Like, he just beat a real star. Instead, Jeff puts everybody over constantly, so it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Jake, do you want to take a break from this Raw that's so boring and let me tell you about a little goof that I did today?
Enthrall me.
I don't know if this is enthralling, but it's kind of funny. So I've known this guy for a while. I mean, a little while, and you know, he's a local guy. And you know, I was editing a lot of wrestling shows, right? Like, I edited 3 wrestling shows that totaled 10 hours worth of content in the last couple of days. On top of that, I was live on iPay-per-view the other night at that wrestling show. So while I'm waiting for these hour-long things to render, I'm bored. I'm sitting here like, oh, I've got to watch the rendering. I've got to do this and that and send things. And so while I'm doing all this, one of the guys that I've always been cool with and whatever, Darlie Decimo. Great guy, has the look. Love the dude. I was watching his match from the other day on Title Match that we did. And I'm like, man, I just love this guy. It's great. And so I was sitting there looking for music to add to the, the New England All-Star Wrestling show for some little thing, for Top Rope rather. And so I found some music I wanted to use. Then I was like, and then I found another thing that I decided I didn't want to use. And I was like, okay, I don't think I want to use that. So I didn't. And, whoa. But it was funny. Like, the music was funny. So I was sitting there and I hit record because Darlie Decimo's match was on. And while Darlie Decimo's match was on, I started like rapping like it was his entrance music. And about 85% of it was kind of funny, but it's like bad. So then I wrote it down, and then I rewrote a couple little things. Then I recorded it. Then I threw a couple clips of the guy. And so I text him today on Facebook and private message him. And I go, hey, I got your new entrance video and theme right here. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, check it out. And he's like,
knowing that this is coming.
He watches it and goes, dude, what the fuck are you doing? He goes, this is actually pretty good, but what the hell? He goes, anyway, but like, so there's Darlie Decimo right there. Darlie Decimo is a great guy. Love hanging out with him, and Slick Wagner Brown too. I'm very good. I love Slick Wagner Brown, and he trained a little bit with him. So I said, so
it's great.
You know, I do it as just a joke. Yeah, you know Slick. So it's just like fucking like retarded. Like the song and the thing that I made is retarded, kind of. And I send it to him, and I'm like, hey, check this thing out. I got your new song. He's like, what the fuck is this? Listen to this, dude. Listen to this. Hold on a minute, though. I got to show you his quick little sample of his. I gotta show you a quick little sample of his real entrance. Okay, so this is Darlie Decimo's real entrance, right? Okay, here it is.
His opponent from Walpole, Massachusetts, weighing in tonight at 225 pounds, the Spotlights.
So there it is. Very, got the, like, what do you call it? That rap? What's the rap that's like trap? Like some kind of trap rap song. So I take this goofy song, right, that I've got, this instrumental, and I send this guy this. Now, I'm just fucking around. This is nothing official. I was just in my house today bored.
Having fun waiting for the render here.
Demolish them like animals. This a perfect episode. The legend in his shadow grows. Killing all who oppose. Bury them at funerals. Decimo. This is not a drill. Decimo a thrill. Like taking any pill. Too much to get you killed. Leave them with the bill. You talking back your shill. Keep on messing around and maybe get your blood spilled. You don't wanna mess with Decimo. You don't wanna step to Decimo. You gotta turn it up for Decimo. Blow your freaking head off. You don't wanna mess with Decimo. You don't wanna step to Decimo. You gotta turn it up for Decimo. You blow your freaking head off.
I mean, the rap's crap, but the hook catchy.
Dude,
catchy.
That whole thing is cringe, but it's fuck. I was like, dude,
I think it's catchy. I think that would work because as soon as he actually makes it to the ring, like that would be when your chorus hits, and you can do something to that. That would be cool,
dude. I think if he was a heel, that would be like, like I want to kill this guy. I think it could be good.
I would get like either a heavy female chorus to back up your vocals, or just have a female, chorus ensemble to do the.
Dude, you don't want to mess with Decimo. Like I can't get over how ridiculous this is.
It works if he's like the ultimate shit, like the superhero. Yeah. Him beating that guy in the balls is like the perfect epitome of what this is all about.
You don't wanna mess with Decimo. You don't wanna step to Decimo. You gotta turn it up for Decimo. Blow your freaking head off. You don't wanna mess with Decimo.
Dude, I was bored while waiting for stuff to render, and I did that. And he's like, I don't know.
Break up exactly right. That's better than a lot of mumble rap. Exactly. That's why I'm not blowing smoke up Joe's ass. I legit mean like that's to me is so much more enjoyable than.
It is kind of funny, like in a way.
Like we make fun of Kodak Black, like and we all the mumble shit, but like I would never could be paid to listen to that shit. Most of it, like it's just awful.
Whenever I hear it, I like start immediately wanting to like spoof it, like make fun of it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Because it's like, but there's a few people that I'm just like, how did you get famous? Or why can anybody listen to you? I mean, it's literally you're just mumbling. That's literally it. You got this white kid with tattoos all over his face, and that ultimate gif. You're so perturbed, you're standing right up.
Yeah, dude. So I'm on the mic going like, I might get in trouble, but I want to do something right now. I'm not going to watch this happen to Teddy Goods, to be honest. But part of me was also thinking, good, get him. I'm glad JT Dunn attacked Teddy Goods because Teddy Goods deserved this after what he did to me in protecting that bear years ago. So JT Dunn, shout out to you, man. If you're watching JT Dunn, wherever you are, playing your Call of Duty streams or whatever, JT Dunn, attacking Teddy Goods from behind. Listen, Teddy kind of deserved it, to be honest, and I know that I was thinking about doing something, but I think you were right, to be honest. I just want to go ahead and say I do think you were right, Teddy Goods. Finally made a wrestling gif, though. I'm happy about that. Besides my own gifs. Look at Bobby Lashley taking one on a chin like a champ, because he is a champ. Look at him. Go get him, Lashley.
Well, that's good. The thing. I really still like Drew, and I want to like Drew. I like his attitude. He really had a great match with Kofi, but it was such an off-put for them to break off 3 times for commercial in those spots and do it in such a way that made Drew look like a moron. And then the DQ finish, and but like I said, the Michinoku driver or I don't even know what you would call it, a catapult, but basically he had Kofi on his shoulders backwards, and then he takes his legs and slings them down, and his face slams into the apron. It was basically like a reverse catapult, but over his shoulders. That was great. There was a lot of moments that was give or take, but again, I don't think Drew should have had this much trouble beating Kofi, really.
I think they're trying to elevate Kofi to make. I think they're trying to make Kofi more serious to elevate him. Remember what they did last week? They've really been. Think about what they did. Remember, he had to beat 2 guys in a night. Now they cheated, but I mean, I guess they just figure they got to try to legitimize Cody.
Elevate him. But here's the thing: where do we go from here? So next week, who wins? Is it Drew or is it Kofi? Or do we get another screw job finish and it leads to a triple threat inside Hell in a Cell that no one wants?
Well, I think they think that if they can build Kofi. Either way, right? If Kofi or Drew win, they've been built up because, especially if Drew wins, right? Because Kofi was a pain in the ass and he got better every time he faced him, maybe, and then he finally had to beat him legitimately 1-1, and so it makes it feel like he accomplished something. So the building of Kofi may benefit Drew, if that makes any sense.
I guess I get it in that sense, but sadly, it just I worry because realistically, it feels like they're just trying to find ways to extend Lashley's reign until they can get to a full touring schedule again, and that's when they'll probably switch the belt. It seems like there's no intent for them to do so anytime soon, so we'll have to see them at least get through Hell in a Cell before we'll get any type of progress. And the best way to do that, of course, is a triple threat. So.
You're right. It probably will be a triple threat. I mean, you're probably dead right
about
that.
That's what they're building here is a damn triple threat again. So,
and I don't know. I mean,
we just got rid of Braun, and now we're just going to have Kofi substitute in.
I wouldn't want
now Kofi's instead of Braun.
And Lashley, unless Kofi's taking the pin, which he probably will, I don't see why this still needs to happen. I feel like, unfortunately, they've got
to win again, and then Kofi will end up getting pinned by Lashley or submitted or something like that, and that's how Drew will lose, but he'll be so close again. And then we'll get to the next pay-per-view or SummerSlam, and that's when, in front of fans, Drew will finally beat Lashley, get the belt back. That's what I think, anyways, they're going for.
So they're going to get it back to Drew?
It seems like that. I think because they wanted to do it at Mania in front of fans, the only reason they decided not to is because they were like, well, then we're going back to the Thunderdome. And then what do we do from
I honestly would keep the belt.
I understand that.
I would keep the belt on Lashley, and I would have Drew win the belt back at SummerSlam. And
yeah, I would get Drew into some other program, which I thought they were doing for a while. It seemed like, anyways, like, you know, he's in need of like a Seth Rollins kind of person now, you know, in that sense. But I don't know who they could utilize on Raw.
There's no one to be world like the championship right now is so dead. It's like the belt feels crap.
Well, if they took Drew out of it and had Kofi go against him at Hell in a Cell, they have a great match. They tear down the house. That wouldn't have been bad. And then Drew can get back into the picture later. But now he has to keep being involved, and he's screwing over Lashley constantly. And I don't know. In a sense, I feel like it weakens him because now if he doesn't win it again, it's like, all right, how many shots do you get? You know, Kofi even said that tonight.
And this is just going over and over forever. And it's like, dude, you talk about repeating matches. This title picture's been how can there only be these two guys always vying for this title? Eventually, like,
exactly.
What?
So if they switched out a few opponents, it would have been okay. And yeah, we did hear that they wanted Drew versus Jinder Mahal for SummerSlam. That was originally slated to happen at that point. And that's one of the reasons they brought Jinder back in such a way with two big guys as his bodyguards instead of, you know, the scrawnier guys. They've got this, you know, these big people because they want to have him feel threatening and be a real dominant heel. All right, that makes sense. So if they're going to build him up as a heel and then they have the history of 3MB, that's a good story. But the rest of it is just, why are you waiting to get there, or what are you going to do to get there to make it interesting?
Yeah, I had to ban Timmy. I'm sorry, man. This guy's cousin. He's like, you banned my cousin. The guy was saying crazy shit, and his Twitter is fucked, dude. Like, I would never. I almost ban nobody for this stuff. I have like, dude, I am so not SJW. I don't care if you make racist jokes.
They make fun of us in the chat. We don't ban people that, you know what I mean?
This dude, Jake, this guy's shit is like, kick out the people, kick them out of the country type of, like, anybody that's not.
That's gotta go.
I'm like, yikes, bro. Like, you're fucking crazy. And I was talking to him too, but he's like, he's out there, bro. I mean, like, I would not have banned him if you. But he was also saying crazy shit in here. So sorry, man. I apologize to your, I guess, but I mean, that's fucking. I don't know. That's weird, bro. It's no jokes. He's serious. Like, I mean, like, it's not a joke.
I know it's
He's
legit
actually a racist. Like,
awful
he can't.
stuff. Yeah.
We had to get rid of him. I'm sorry. I'm no SJW, but that guy's actually a fuckhead. So sorry. But go ahead, Jake.
So-
What else you got?
No, I'm just saying. So you don't see
Oh wait, whoa.
Ginger getting used at all.
Party, 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 party!
You don't see Jeff Hardy except that silly promo. You know, he's another one. The stuff we got between
Fuck
Shelton and Edge.
Uh-oh. I think Jake was just assassinated by Timmy. I am a racist American. All right, we lost Jake. His Discord just crapped out on itself. So, okay, we lost Jake for a minute there. We'll get him back. Let's see here if we can get him back. We'll get Jake back, everybody. When it comes to America and they're not whites, you gotta kick them out, gotta do what's right. If you hear my friends, then you know I'm right. If you're not white, get the hell out of sight. I am a racist American. I hate all the blacks and Mexicans. And I am a racist American. They are not right. They are not right. I'm here to tell you if it's black, it's wrong. All the Mexicans get out alone. Racism runs deep inside of me, 'cause this is all white people's country. I am a racist American. I hate all the blacks and Mexicans. And I am a racist American. If it's not white, it is not right.
Well, you know something, dude? Let me tell you something, Jigaboo. You better get out of here, brother.
Hulk Hogan is a piece of shit. What a piece of shit Hulk Hogan is. I loved him as a kid. Who knew? Who knew that he was really a piece of garbage? I had no idea. We're back here with Jake, racist American. Hulk Hogan's favorite song was playing while we were away, but we are back with Jake, it looks like. What's up, Jakey?
Yeah, baby.
You It was so funny how you froze. It was very strange. So we had to play Hulk
Moving.
Hogan's new entrance music.
I heard, but
Like that?
I could still hear you. It just wouldn't let. You couldn't hear me. I don't know why it froze.
Mm.
Discord sucks.
Yeah, it was weird. I figured that. I was like, he probably doesn't even know that he's frozen on my end, because it's probably my end that froze or whatever. But anyway, did you also hear? Dude, did you, just off topic, my tweets, because I haven't talked to you really today too much. Did you see the Spindle City Rumble clip that I put up of Robo winning the Rumble?
Yes.
What did you think of that? Because I watched that and went, and you missed some of the stuff before, because I couldn't edit the whole video in, but
Yeah,
I thought it was like one of the best like elimination type of things in a Rumble I'd ever seen.
It was really cool. I wish I got to see that live. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I got pretty I don't know, I got pretty pumped for that. I was like, wow, that was because so many times I was like, oh my God, this guy's gonna get eliminated. Here he goes, he's gonna get eliminated again. Okay, no, he's gonna get eliminated again. And it just kept going. And I was like, holy fucking God, this guy, like, they can't get rid of each other. Like, and it was the people that are you guys will probably never watch this or ever know, but the bottom line is there was three bad guys all on the same team in the Rumble with one good guy. And what happened was he ended up eliminating one of them. And then a guy came to help him who had been attacked by them earlier in the night. So then he eliminated one of them. And then it was down to these two guys. And they just, and I'll play some of it because Raw is so boring. We're talking about all the indie wrestling that I call because I get to see this stuff. And I just find this transition beautiful. Watch this. Look at this.
Carcass and eliminate. No. No.
Look at that.
Oh, Robo hung on to it. Robo hung on. He's not eliminated.
By the way, some of you guys may know Robo. He was he appeared on AEW a little while back. So you guys maybe saw Robo on there. Portuguese, or I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the Portuguese powerhouse, but the Punjabi Lion.
Vane doesn't realize it. Robo goes downstairs. Robo up and over into the ring. Vane. Oh, a knee to the face of Frankie Vane. And now, Robo, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. Robo's, no. Frankie Vane has too much. Oh, Frankie Vane up and over. No. Again, Robo hangs on. Robo. Oh, that's it. All good. Oh, my, no. Robo. Robo. How is Robo hanging on? Vane up and over. He's got. No. Vane holds on too.
Such drama and tension. I love it.
Yeah, that was great. Dude, he fucking ran into that fucking top rope like crazy. Like, I'm like, oh, he's definitely eliminated right there.
Yeah, I thought that was it. He was done. Like, here's the up and over.
On the playground of the monkey bars, somehow hang on. And now on the apron, fists flying. Robo with a forearm. Frankie Vane with a shot. Robo's on Dream Street. Headbutt.
By the way, calling this was an hour and 40 minutes solo call of one match of a Rumble, 40 men. Holy fuck, was my voice dead.
Jesus.
Robo's a headbutt back and Vane stumbles on the corner. Robo back to the inside. Super kick. They eliminated Frankie Vane.
I'm looking at the crowd. I love the finish.
The 2019 Brindle City Rumble.
That was crazy. Like, I love that sequence.
Unbelievable.
Shout out to Robo.
Unbelievable fortitude.
Shout out to Robo. That was pretty good, man. He'd been, dude. Robo was the number 2, 3, or 4 guy in the match. So he was in the fucking thing for like an hour and 40 minutes. And Jake, there's another match. There's another match that I want you to watch, and I swear to God, dude, you got to watch it. It's so fucking hilarious. I don't know who this guy is, but it was a bunch of indie guys. A lot of them are newer indie guys, kind of, and a bunch of indie guys at Top Rope Promotions. One of them, his name is Donnie Rotten, and he's dressed like an 80s guy, looks like an older guy or something. This fucking guy, Jake, this guy gets the fuck beat out of him in this match, and he keeps getting up like almost like, so he gets taken out in the way that you should be out for like 8 minutes, and he comes back like in 30 seconds every time, no matter what gets done to him. And I couldn't help but start laughing about it in the match, because the match is like, it's like a 30-minute ladder match, and this guy gets fucking annihilated. The ladder breaks at one point, and he falls off, almost breaks his neck, lands on the ladder, and I'm like calling it, like almost laughing, calling it. And I started calling the guy Zombie Man, and he's not alive, like, because he was like the Undertaker, but like as a hardcore wrestler or something. He just kept coming back, like he would, and they kept like throwing him into stuff. Like, dude, this guy got the shit kicked out of him, and it's the funniest fucking match I've ever seen. Like, and it's pretty good. Like, it's good. Like, there's a lot of there's so much, dude. It's better than. I don't know. It's better than a lot of WWE stuff. There's so much, obviously, everything. Better than a lot of everything WWE. There's just fucking shit everywhere. And it's so funny. Like, if I get a hold of it where I can post it or send you guys a link to it at some point, you have to see this. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh, I'm sure it sounds great, too. And especially because the way they can connect with the audience and they have such a great rapport with the crowd, to get them behind somebody getting their ass beat repeatedly and then somehow making you care for them even when you're not supposed to. That's a talent in its own right, and those are the things that end up being the most entertaining.
Yeah.
And then you got people like the Young Bucks, even though they're heel, I get it, but they're saying, Jim Ross is now the world's worst commentator because he said that Randy Orton was a better wrestler than Omega. So now they're crapping all over him. And I know they're the elite, like, you're supposed to be together, but still, he works for your company, and I understand attacking Cornette, but you shouldn't be going after Jim Ross. No, he's basically your lead announcer.
Wait, who's going after him?
Matt Jackson from the Young Bucks.
When did JR say this?
It was on his podcast, I believe. So
Recently?
Yeah. He basically said that he thought that Orton was one of the best wrestlers, as everybody else was basically picking Omega at this time.
Well, I mean, listen, we all know that that's probably true right now. But, I like Omega. A lot of people make fun of Omega for all these things. I enjoy watching Omega's intensity in the ring and do his thing. But JR, man, why? I mean, listen, I'm down for being honest. And I know that I have trouble too. I have to be honest and whatever. But JR, I would just think, man, if you're the commentator for AEW, that you would say something like, well, Randy Orton competed on a huge stage, for a long time, and maybe he was a bigger superstar in the scheme of things because he had a bigger audience and a big company like that and everything else like that. No doubt about it. Definitely, Randy Orton's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time at this point. But, Kenny Omega is traveled the world, sold out buildings, and had matches that are some of the most intense and unbelievable that you've ever seen.
Pivotal in wrestling times.
So,
that's one of the things too.
I would have tipped the cap to Randy real quick while bringing it back to how amazing Omega was. Even if you're pandering a little bit, you're not lying about anything you're saying. But it is interesting but I do also respect that JR doesn't give a fuck. He just says, I'm going to tell you what I think. Here's the deal. But also Omega's a heel. So he can do this because, now the Young Bucks are all mad because they're heels. So it makes sense that these guys now
shitty from the Young Bucks, and I guess it's even worse because that they're
they're heels. That they want you to feel like they're shitty. That's what they want. They got you.
I get it, but it's not from the angle in which they're trying to do it for me. For me, it's more of they're petty. You've known that for ages. And worse comes out of it. You see their real attitude anytime they just can't take criticism, it seems, unfortunately. I mean, you can tell after they willingly left Twitter with all that, nonsense. But still, I just find it weird going after, what is supposed to be your lead announcer. And it also comes down to the fact of, they're upper echelon because of the EVP status and things like that. So that always is going to be in the back of at least my mind anyways. When these decisions are made or things are said, it's not just them being heels and talents. They're also creative and booking and hiring and doing things that matter. So if you're not on their good side and things like this happen, how do you know you're going to have a job much longer? That's what sucks. So can you really say what you want to say or be yourself?
Hi, Young Bucks, I'm here. Unban me from the blacklist.
Yeah, you can't do it in WWE. You can't really speak your mind either there, so it's not like any place is different, but still it's something to note.
Let me go to the donos real quick. I forgot about them. Thank you. Gurmeet, thank you for subbing to the channel. That's a good name. I like that one. Like Gurmeet, it's like Kermit, like Kermit the Frog's vagina. Yeah. Shit bomb. Todd Fair with $20.
You become a shit bomb.
Damn.
I respect Michael Cole so much for not being a WWE yes man.
Thank you, Todd Fair. But is he really not a yes man? What makes him not a yes man, though? What up, Todd? How are you doing, man? I mean, he remember when he got yelled at by Vince and he was like, you really want me to hit that again? And then he's like, yes, sir. I'm sorry. I love you.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of an ultimate yes man at this point.
I mean, maybe that is Michael Cole.
Imagine Hardy and Nakamura tagging and coming out both doing their hand-waving move. Imagine they both become junk juggy rock stars.
No, they can come out and become the Parkinson's disease. Diverse, that'd be great. And they could rep the disease and everything for get all these sponsorships. Diverse, that's a great idea, man. Jeff Hardy.
Thank you, Todd, and thank you, Diverse.
Yeah, I love this idea. And,
it just,
Todd
like
Fair
before,
is top dog too, by the way. Top dog now.
Nakamura now having, Booty whatever, Boog play him to the ring. That's a good idea, but we'll see what happens going further with it. But yeah, I could see Hardy and Nakamura being like a rock and roll type tag team that could have worked kind of well for a bit.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Parkinson's.
WWE wasted EC3.
Attitude Era Kid, thank you for the $10, man. WWE wasted EC3. I mean, yeah, definitely. Especially since we thought that he was going to do better on the main roster. We thought that, NXT, he'll be all right for a little while, but he's going to be really good when they get him on the main roster because he's going to be able to talk, all this stuff. Dude, the same thing with Mike Bennett. It's like, okay, Mike Bennett can talk. He's got Maria. That's going to be good. That'll be good mid-card stuff. EC3, okay, man, he can talk. That will be good. He looks great. That will be something, too. He can have all these skits and all these things he can do, and they did nothing with him. I have no idea. They didn't even try. That's the thing that's fucked. They didn't even try with EC3. That's what's fucked up. Like, crazy. Like, it fucking infuriates me. JP Gamer, thanks for subbing to the channel. It's like, dude, if I had EC3 and like a tiny anything, you could literally live off of not only your ideas for EC3, but probably EC3's ideas. You could live off his ideas, and they didn't even try.
That's what I'm saying. He's always had some
Shit-bum.
great ideas, and they never did any
Took the
of
day
them.
off from work today because of the second dose of the COVID vaccine.
Pussy.
Just a fair warning, you'll feel like your entire body weighs 500 pounds for at least 12 hours. Raw
Oh.
tonight gets a negative 10 out of 10 from me because it put me to sleep.
Okay.
See, I
now-
thought everybody was being a gigantic vagina because I get so many injections all the time. And the day before I got mine, I got 6 friggin'
What is
IVs.
he talking
you know?
about, though?
So when I got the second COVID shot, I was like, oh, it won't be too bad. The next day, I couldn't even lift my arm. I was like, this is ridiculous. And I thought everybody was just being gigantic vaginas about like, oh, it's sore. And everyone kept telling me how sore it was.
Well, that's
but
what Leah said. She goes, oh, my arm is killing me.
my arm, I couldn't lift it, and it was bruised and hot. And then I was extremely dizzy for several days. So the whole weekend I spent extremely dizzy. Sucked.
I'm glad I haven't gotten it yet because I don't want to be dizzy for a day.
But you might not, because everybody else, like Courtney had no symptoms, Danny had no symptoms, my mother had no symptoms. So
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we'll
most
see if
people seem to.
If I was gonna get it, I would have got it the other day with all that wrestling show in front of 300 people. I was like, people,
Probably.
everybody coming up to me, fucking, hey, what's up?
What's up, Joe?
What's going on?
Let me cough in your mouth.
I really did see a lot of local people I hadn't seen in a while, so I didn't expect that. It actually surprised me because I was trying to keep to myself in my little corner, and just so many people came up to me, including my friend Paul, who I haven't seen in years, who I went to South Shore Music Circus with to see WWF in 1998 and 1999, or 1997 and 1998, and I was like, wow, what's up? And he said hi to me, and it was crazy. And I saw him, and I was like, man,
that's cool.
Remember when we were kids, like at the South Shore Music Circus? And I said Road Dogg and Billy Gunn remember those shows, and they loved them. And he goes, wow, I bet they did. Anyway, whatever. It was just cool. I was like, wow, I haven't, probably seen him 4 times since high school in 2003.
Wow, what a coincidence! So you see him again at a wrestling show.
Well, I mean, he does go to the wrestling shows because he loves.
But I'm
wrestling.
saying, like, of all things to run into some, it's just.
Yeah,
it's always it's just a funny coincidence, and that's always how it works out.
Nice to see Paul, man. He invited me to that first South Shore show. So the one where I first went, I went to it, and I missed the WWE going to South Shore Music Circus because there's only 2,500 seats or 3,000 seats, and it's a small tent show outside, and it's amazing. And I went with Paul because he invited me. We had front row tickets.
It had such a personal feel.
Yes.
And, that close, intimate thing is great. You don't get often.
You're watching the WWE in an indie event. That's what it's like.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And so the first show he took me to, front row. And then the second show I ever went to was like middle row. But there's not a bad seat in the house, so it's amazing anywhere you are. But front row is really amazing because it's a spinning stage and a circular thing, and the seats are all on the bottom. And when the wrestlers fall out of the ring, they land on the circular stage thing, but right in front of you. So it's amazing, dude. The Rock was so much bigger. It was amazing. But I also went to the South Shore Music Circus the last time they were there. The last time they were there, Christian was the ECW world champion. And Leah was pregnant with Gavin, I believe. So it was actually 2009.
Yeah, talk about how time flies,
Yeah, crazy. It was Blue Ropes. Great Khali was there. He looked insane. And yeah, man, it was. And I got front row tickets. I literally, Jake, I called 4 days before the event. I went on their website, and I go, I'm gonna buy whatever is available. And I saw front row was available, It was like $100 a ticket, and I bought front row tickets and was like, I think I have the front row. I didn't even know. I think I got the fucking front row.
That's awesome.
And Leah's like worried because she's pregnant. She's like, what if the wrestler falls on me and kills the baby? I'm like, well, then thy will be done. No, we ended up working out pretty well, and it was.
What do we
fun.
call that finish? The yield abortion.
Yeah, that's called the coat hanger.
Hey, there you go.
But it was funny, man. Christian was cool. But anyway, whatever. Who cares about all that shit? What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, back to the donos. That's what I was gonna do. Back to the donos.
Yeah.
We got a few more.
But no matter what, the COVID shot, it's one day of feeling like crap if you're gonna feel like crap. So get it. It's worth it.
Bradley JB, thanks for subbing to the channel, man. What's going on? Good to have you here, man.
Apparently, Alexa Bliss isn't there tonight due to an emergency in her family with her pig Larry. Apparently, he's very ill, and she was trying to find some way to treat him because most vets are not comfortable treating pigs. So she was trying to find somebody to take care of her pig, and apparently that's why they just had Shayna Baszler be distracted with the pyro of Reginald tonight with all that stuff. So
WWE's like, we cannot catch a break with these fucking people. Bray Wyatt's got to miss time because he's like, whatever. And then we give it to Alexa, and now she's got to miss time because of a pig. Vince is ready to just strap a bomb to his dick at this point.
It really is just getting to the point of like, ridiculousness. It constantly. Ugh. I mean, what more can we deal with at this point?
I don't know, man. It's weird. I don't know when I'm gonna get the thing. People asking me. I'm so mad at the whole country. I don't want to get a thing from anyone. I don't even care. Kill me, COVID. I don't even care. Because Fauci. It's like these people are all like, they're like banning people because people were like, maybe it looks like it might have been made in a lab. Maybe. Oh, you're crazy. Where everyone's crazy for saying that. Oh, now Fauci's like, I don't know. We should check that out. Oh, really? Oh, okay.
No kidding.
Like, this fucking country, in this world, someone's lying to us about something. Cookie, I don't fire. Cookie, wait a minute. Cookie Kid on Fire. There it is. Cookie Kid on Fire. What a fucking name that is. But yeah, maybe I'll get that. Maybe I'll get it. I need someone to drive me to Gillette Stadium. It's only 8 minutes away.
Hey, Mr. Joe.
Someone bring me to
Do
Gillette.
You like the lollipops? Joe and Jake.
Yeah.
I love sprinklers that goes like this.
Oh no, Pacharo.
And comes back like.
All right, Pacharo. Thanks for the $3.
We're all about super soakers here, not sprinklers. Sorry.
I appreciate it, Pacharo. That reminds me, I've got to get my sprinkler hooked up pretty soon because the kids are going to start asking.
Yeah. So besides Riddle and Xavier Woods being a great match, it wasn't, great in story. I guess that's why, like we said, Alexa Bliss wasn't there. But still, I don't know what they're even doing with that. It's going nowhere. Why is Nia and Shayna allowed everywhere still, since they're not the tag champs anymore? Why are they able to go to all the shows?
Raw was fucking garbage. 1/10. Let's talk about UFOs and aliens instead. What do you think the information will be that they give us on June 1st? I know this isn't on topic, but is more entertaining than Raw.
Thank you, WWE AEW News. Cortez in the chat, you can say tinfoil hat time all you want. Problem is, tinfoil hat time turns into truth every single time almost. It's pretty crazy, huh? Pretty crazy how Epstein, his island was tinfoil hat time, huh? Pretty crazy how, that it could be made in a Wuhan lab was tinfoil time, and now it's not so much. It's always tinfoil hat time until it becomes true. I've noticed that. By the way, not everything's a conspiracy, though, to some of you psychos out there. And I may get the shot soon, so I'm not a crazy fucking conspiracy.
Hey, everyone should make their own opinion. Do as they want.
Yeah,
what's
but
best for them.
Don't say everything's tinfoil hat because, first of all, here's the truth to all the conspiracy people out there. Not everything's a fucking conspiracy. Sometimes the science is really there. Do things. But also, the tinfoil hat time seems to come true quite a bit, doesn't it? When you're like, oh, you fucking, what are you, crazy? And then it's reality. And then a year later, oh, Bill Gates is a sleazeball weirdo psycho. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, wait, he is. Oh, it's like, okay. It's like, come on, bro. So yeah, and what's funny, Caveman, is you say not everything comes true though. You're right, it doesn't. But I'm not talking about everything. I'm talking about the things that have come true. So you're saying that, but I'm only speaking the facts right now about the things that have come true. So I'm not going on
I
about.
don't remember if
all
it
these
was
other
Final
things.
Frontier, Joe, or if it was somebody calling in. But I remember we had discussed, or at least covered, a topic of, is Bill Gates's identity actually just a facade? Remember we had discussed this at one point,
Right, and I loved Bill Gates. I loved him, Jake. I loved this guy.
But yeah,
loved him.
well, I idolized him at one point too, because that Microsoft, and you're like, oh wow, I'm such a big Xbox fan as well. Like it just, and he always had this kind of exuberant,
I just loved his
way about
story.
him.
I
He
loved that
seemed
story.
like the ultimate nerd, one of us, so cool because he wasn't cool, and that the rags to riches story and being the most successful.
Well, it's not rags
richest
to
guy,
riches because his
but
dad
that's
was.
how it was framed for a long time. Anyways, that's how they wanted it to look. From a garage was the story that you were fed.
Yes, exactly. The whole story, the beginning of Silicon Valley, was so awesome to me. I loved it.
Until you actually learn what really went on. But still, the point is, they always had this caricature of Bill Gates, and we had heard, there was some scrupulous details coming out, and things were saying like everything is not to be believed. That's not really who he is, and this has been a carefully crafted and tested ad campaign, basically, to put a person together to make them appear likable. And it's been happened for all these years because he was so rich that he's always had, a team of people working for him to make him seem a certain way so that he would always be favorable. And now these things are coming out about him because, the divorce is happening, and it's seeming like, hey, people that said this stuff, they may not be crazy. He might actually have been kind of sadistic and crazy. So we'll see.
He started with stealing somebody's shit. When you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the real story, but
you know what I mean? In a way. But no, it's just whatever, man. But listen, we're just talking.
You could also say, oh, he was the first to market then, but that really wasn't the case either. So
yeah, like I don't know, man. I'm more concerned about what to do when it comes to the kids. That's what I'm concerned about. Like, I'm not really worried about me because I'll probably get the thing pretty soon. Leah's already got it. My mom's got it. Her parents have it. Our whole family pretty much. But I don't want my kids near it. Like, but should I? Like, maybe they should. Maybe everyone should. But it's like, no, I don't think they have no risk of getting this thing. But will someday down the road, will it morph into something terrible down the road, and then it could be worse? I don't know. Like, it's just right now the answer to me is no. No go for them now. But I mean, I don't know, man. It's weird. It's a fucking stressful thing to think about. But I'm not.
They have it now where two of my doctors I can't see in person unless I'm vaccinated, or else you have to do telehealth visits only.
But Joe Biden said that wouldn't happen earlier today.
Right.
I mean, I'm serious. Like, he
literally. I know. It literally was announced earlier that wouldn't be the case, but yet that's literally the case.
So like, why? See, what I don't get is why do people just let these people lie to you? Like, I'm not. And by the way, Raw sucks so much. Now we're talking about the hilarious political news. I want you to.
I haven't seen my endocrinologist in
and you had
ages.
to bring one product.
What the fuck is that? Oh, the thing's playing. Okay, no, yeah, watch this, guys. Watch this. This is super weird. Just want you to see this. It's very strange. Not the guy, but watch this.
Are a little bit
serious illness. So you want to protect the youngsters, be they adolescents, be they young children.
By the way, this video has 8,000 dislikes and 1,000 likes.
You want to protect them. There's no doubt.
And this is the official White House YouTube channel. Watch this.
About it. But then there's also the responsibility that you have of not being part of spreading the infection throughout the community. So you almost want to take what I call a societal responsibility.
I understand that too. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Like, do your part to support other people. That's fine. Let's go to the next question.
you have the vaccine or not to travel. You'll need to confirm whether you have the vaccine or not to
Oh, here it is.
So I've heard rumors about, of course, a vaccine passport when you'll need to confirm whether you have the vaccine or not to travel or to go to concerts, etc. Do you feel like that is going to be something that's going to be?
So he says that, are you going to need the vaccine? He's worried about the rumors that you're going to need the vaccine to travel or go to concerts or do things like that. That's his question. Literally what we're talking about here tonight. What's Joe Biden going to say?
Implemented.
So Joe Biden now is going to say, right, he's going to either say, no, you don't need the vaccine to go to concerts and to those things, but, you're going to have to wear a mask otherwise, or blah, blah, blah. But let's see what Joe says.
More?
These rumors of vaccine passports, I think it just plays the paranoia in some people, particularly with younger people. And
so he doesn't say they're true or not true. He says it plays to paranoia.
That's just not the case. But
that's not the case, he says.
If you've been vaccinated You don't need to wear a mask, and if you're not, you should wear a mask for your own safety's sake and for the sake of the people you care a great deal about, the people you love. It's so easy for people to get a vaccine. All you have to do is text your zip code and the number 43882.
I'll spare you the rest of this video. He never answers the question. So, no, not answered. Can you go to concerts? Not answered. Can you go to the doctor's office like Jake just said? Not answered. Are there going to be passports?
But they recap it, and then what they'll say is, well, you're not allowed to go. You know, in my case, you could just have a telephone visit, telehealth. You know, you could do it that way.
Right.
But because I was like, well, I need to be seen
but
sooner
we
then,
saw
so how do I
earlier
manage
today.
this?
We've seen earlier today from people like the Quartering who posted his concert printout that you aren't supposed to go. It says you're not supposed to come.
Yeah, it says it. MLB has it where you're not supposed to go if you're not vaccinated. Hershey Park was doing something similar, so I don't know if they can enforce it in full or if it could just be like a suggested guideline. I'm a private property. I think they can do as they please, but I'm not sure. I don't know where the civil liberties line is crossed there, but is it the same thing as wearing a mask? Not really, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know where the line exactly comes to in this, because if you have places telling you can't go, well, what is it? If it's a grocery store or like a Walmart or a pharmacy, something that everyone needs access to, that's an issue. But if it's an MLB game or a Disneyland or a Hershey Park or Six Flags, that is not a necessity. So
they got Jake again. Holy shit, they got Jake again. I'm sorry, Jake. You froze again, brother. I'm playing that video not to side with Biden and not to attack Biden. I'm only playing that video to say, what do you guys know what he means? Because I don't. I don't know what that video means. I don't know if he didn't answer the question, in my opinion. And Jake's back. He didn't answer the question. So, like, that was my point of the video. He did answer the question, but it's very ambiguous. And from what I understand, you can't do certain things, so it's so misleading and weird. I don't know what he's saying there.
Allowed to is the question. So
what?
That's the question I'm asking you. Should you be allowed to do those things, or should places have the right to say no?
Yeah, and
that's kind of what I'm wondering.
I don't know what. I think that I don't know what the answer is. I think it's got to be maybe mandated by the states, I suppose.
I'm just curious more than anything. I have less of an opinion and more of like a curiosity to see what's going to happen.
I'll eat your cookie jar cookied on fire. I've called them 3 different names. When a name runs together, I always fuck it. I'm insane. Todd Fair is the top donator. What's up, man? I don't want you guys all to fight in the chat about politics either. I'm sorry if I did that to you guys. I'm just asking questions. I don't know. I don't care about left or right or whatever.
Same here. Like I said, I don't know what makes it right and what doesn't. Like if you take away people's access to everyday needs, like pharmacies or grocery stores, because they're not vaccinated, that's terrible. That can't stand. But if you're saying they can't go to an MLB game, that's not a necessity. It's not right. I don't agree with it, but does it make it wrong? I don't know.
I mean, if you're gonna, I don't.
They could say they're only willing to do it to protect people. Like, so which argument is the most?
Yeah. Do you want? Sound? I mean, they could go and say, okay, fine, we can't do that, so only 30% of people are allowed. Okay, everybody can come in, vaxxed or not vaxxed, but we can only do 30% capacity. Or as long as everybody's vaxxed, we can do 100% capacity. Which one would you take? I don't know. Probably take the vax.
And the ball stadiums are probably like, oh, I want to do 100% vaccinated because that's more money. But does that make it wrong? You know, it's a business still. They're trying to earn money.
They have.
So who are we to say
baseball,
that they can't?
There's like
what if they told you that you had to wear sweatpants to walk into the building? Everyone would be like, oh, well, this is ridiculous. But how many people would just go along with it? Why do they require it? It's their rule. You know, that kind of thing.
Wouldn't it be funny if they did vax day, non-vax day, and because there's like 100-something games in baseball, 160-something. Wouldn't it be funny if one day it was like no vax day? So like,
today is anti-vaxxer day at Boston Stadium. That's right.
Welcome.
Get your own harpoon
day.
Vaxxers. You know, and they chase like a big vax needle around the.
You don't have to be vaxxed. You do not need to be vaccinated to enter the ballpark. Today, the ballpark is at 30% capacity, and beers are $20 a piece.
I mean, you have to be vaccinated to get into school. Is the truth.
But on Vax Day, today,
yeah, beer is triple priced.
No, on the day that you are vaxxed, they'll be
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying. Then they'll jack.
no,
up the beer
there'll be
price.
free beer. Then they'll offer free beer.
We'll reverse it.
Yeah, because
to
the
entice
government
people
will
to get
pay
the
them.
shots.
The government
Yeah,
will hit them
that's
with a paycheck, and they'll be like, today is you've gotten your vaccine, so it's 100% capacity. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, free beer for everybody because you're vaccinated. Drink up sheep.
Drink up sheeple. Yeah, that would be a. No, I thought you were going the other way, where they would lower or give away the beer to the anti-vaxxers to make them fight and kill each other. You know, just take them all out that way. Just get them really drunk and then let them.
I struggle. I honestly struggle with this stuff because I don't trust the government and I don't trust any of these people. And they've been proven liars. And there's a bunch of proven shit that we could get into that's insane and tinfoil hatty. But then, guys, I'm 100% honest with you guys. Like, I'm fairly a science dork who's a bit liberal. I'm pretty liberal. So, like, there's a part of me that also is like, I fight with this. I don't know. Like, I'm all over the place in my own head, man, because...
No, I am as well, because I go back and forth on things because I don't have one set way with anything. And that's why I say I might agree with one thing on one side, but then again...
I think everyone's lying to us, man. I feel like fucking everyone's lying.
Biden should have no hee-haw in between seesaw back and forth. Like, he should have an opinion, and that should be what the president states and says. Even if I don't agree with it, like, that's his opinion. If I didn't agree with Trump, there was many times more often I did. But that was his opinion. With Biden, I feel like the fence sitting is just atrocious at this point.
Evan says 162 in baseball. Thank you. There you go. Not 165. Yeah, the fence sitting with him is because he's just trying to cruise in, get the things he wants in, and get the fuck out. Where's the dono? Here it is.
Shitty in Philly with gritty, yo. This whole city with gritty, yo. We might eat our own shitty, yeah. Eat our own shitty. In the city of Philly, we eat shitty.
Oh my God, O.J. Simpson. Oh no.
Survive off our motherfucking own PCs. In Philly with gritty, in Philly with gritty. This whole city will eat our own shitty in Philly. That's why our mascot looks like a...
Hey JCS World, it's yours truly. Well, spring is coming to an end soon and summer will be here. COVID is coming to a halt unless people are dying from it. Looks like good old OJ has to gut, slit, rape and maim a white hoe tonight.
Oh.
Kill Whitey. Take care.
No.
Oh my God, O.J. Simpson. I'm gonna have to kill another white bitch in front of everybody. I'll definitely get away with it this time, you crack a bitch.
Shout out to OJ. Keep up the good work.
OJ, my God. Fuck. Thank you, OJ. I did like you in Naked Gun. Alexa Marie, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. What's up? We need some more female blood here, so appreciate you being here. Welcome. Yeah. You're part of the 9% of the females that watch these shows. But at least I'm honest about being a complete fence sitter.
Duncachino? Don't mind if I
do. Not a man who's not a fence sitter. It's James Mesner.
Duncachino. You want creamy goodness?
I'm your friend.
Say hello to my chocolate blend.
Why are the conspiracy theorists always proven right, but yet they still use the term?
I'll tell you why, James Mesner, because they're not always right. What it is a lot of people throw a bunch of shit at a wall, and 30% of the time it seems to stick. And the people on the left think that everything is wrong when it comes to conspiracies and call everything a conspiracy. And there are people on the right side that think everything is a conspiracy. So you get these two people butting heads like fucking idiots. And unfortunately, the truth is in the middle. That sometimes stuff is right and is correct and is really happening, but people on the left ignore all of it because they think everything's a conspiracy and these people are nuts. And they think it because sometimes these people are wrong about things or do go over the top on things. So they just look at all the bad and the wrong and say they're always wrong. And the people on the right think that, oh my God, that crazy shit that they said wasn't true is true, therefore everything's true. And you get these two extremes. So people like most of us here are more normal because we know that the truth is in the middle somewhere. And so if you can be that balance in the middle and not deny all the conspiracy stuff, because conspiracies are real, like they really happen. That's why they're called conspiracies. And then things actually happen. And then there are things that sometimes people get wrong who are trying to pull up everything and all the information and do all the following up and digging. And you get some things that are wrong, like Alex Jones, Sandy Hook. That was incorrect. But Alex Jones, Epstein, correct. And Alex Jones, Bill Gates, pretty correct. Like 70% correct. One side would tell you it's like not correct at all. Another side would tell you it's super correct and he kills babies and stuff. So there's these levels that you have to sort of balance on the scale of where things really are. But unfortunately, a lot of people on the left will extremely tell you how you're wrong and you're crazy. And then when you're right, they don't acknowledge that you're right. They just pretend it whatever, or they go to someone who's the real news or something that tells them it, and then they believe it all of a sudden. And the people on the right they'll ruin your life if they think something is true that maybe isn't. So once again, guys, moderation. Most of you know this. So doesn't Jake. So doesn't everybody here that's normal. But if we could all only come together and see that and stop with the fighting of I must be right on my side every time on the left or right.
I just don't know when it flipped, Joe, because when we were kids, it was, everybody's the same, don't view color. And then at some point it was like, no, we have to celebrate our differences. But then they wanted everybody to realize they were different, and they forced that in everyone's face. And that's what kind of like relit race issues.
Well, because so the 1% or the rich elite and the people that really are running the country, when you guys hear this, you think it's like conspiracy. So when you hear words like the elite and all the conspiracy people and the globalists and the people, but like it's true. Like people at the top are black, white, Asian, different races, different religions. They're all at the top. They don't give a shit about any of this. They're already advanced. All they care about is running the shit and having their money. They're not fighting. Do you notice that the elite way up here, they don't fight. They have fucking cocktail parties. Hey, all these different races of rich elites and religious people at the top up here. They all have cocktail parties and have a good time. They don't care about any of this. They're loving that you're all fighting. That's what they want. They don't care. If they can strategically say, that's why you see politicians not even saying anything about some of the stuff that goes on out there. Because they don't, whatever, good, it's working. They want you all fighting with each other all over the place. Let's bring race back into it. Let's bring these identity things. Let's do that. Push that more. Keep that. Get them all fucked up. They're all fucked up fighting with each other while they run away with the money. It's so fucking brilliant what they do. It works. It's working. I can tell by some of the people in the chat. It's working 100%. Everyone's tribal and is grabbed onto one side. It's fucking crazy. And it works. It's working. They're working you all, or not all of us here, but they're working the world. It's crazy. It's true, because they're up there comfortable. You see the pictures of all of them with the elites. You see a picture with some guy with another guy, and you're like, how can they be friends? Aren't they like completely? No, they're not, because they're in the club. You're not. That's why they're like why are all these people who are rich at the Epstein Island all partying with everybody and involved with everybody? Oh, look at me. Look at us. And they're not even worried about anything, because they're all on a completely different level than any of us ever will be. Even the real estate moguls and the people that have millions of dollars, they're not even on that level. They're not even in that club of these people. Like, it's crazy. And it's not a conspiracy. It's fucking real. It's really going on. Now,
one of the things I bring up to you as well, on a side note, but important.
And I will answer that Cedric Alexander question. We want to talk about that in a minute, but go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, it's just with Velveteen Dream. Patrick Clark is finally coming out and posting his side of things, and put out 2 very long Twitter stories today that really went above and beyond to explain everything. And okay, but I felt like when everyone was accused at one point in time and less guilty, they were singing from the rafters to announce their innocence.
Who?
Anybody
who ever went to the island.
Yeah, no matter who was accused of any type of anything in the Speak Out movement that happened in wrestling, whether they were guilty and found later or not, everyone was feigning innocence no matter what, and people were like protesting them, these stories right away.
Oh yeah.
I don't feel like we ever got that from him. We never got his side, really. Like, he said it wasn't true, but only thing he said was that those were private pictures and this is being investigated. It wasn't like Remember, like it wasn't.
Yeah,
like, this
yeah,
is
we didn't.
Not me.
This was huge that came out today. The Velveteen Dream finally responded. It was huge.
Yeah. So then he goes to say, Patrick Clark lives to fight another day. But in my eyes, the issue was, yeah, WWE said you were innocent, but you never claimed or feigned your innocence at all. Like, where were you on all of this? We heard from Matt Riddle day 0. As soon as something came out, he was out ahead of it, saying like, this isn't true. I was with this girl, yes, but there was none. We didn't get any of that from him, and there was grooming allegations, and there was ways to connect him to these people. So there was just a lot of bad evidence and things connecting him to this, and we never got any definitive answer.
Let me ask you this.
Him.
Let me ask you this to support him a little bit. What's the worst allegation towards him?
That he was, I guess it would probably be the grooming allegation.
What did he say
that
would be considered grooming?
I'd have to even go back.
I read the text.
All of it. So.
I read the text. Okay, so let me sum it up real quick.
What would they say that would be grooming? Because
no, I'll sum it up. The kid was 17. He had said earlier in the day, I remember this, that his DMs were open. Anybody hit me up about anything, the Dream is taking questions.
No. That was the first account. That was the first issue, yes. But the second one was the Joshua kid that they were saying that he was grooming, basically, that he had met several times after meeting him at a Tough Enough event initially. And from there, he had went and gave this young boy, he says he only gave him, praise and tutelage on how to go about becoming a wrestler against what he said would be his best advice because he got a concussion at one point. But in any event, he basically says is that Josh and Jacob, these are the two people that are accusing him, are two of the many people that I've helped. So yes, Josh is the first story where he had the open Instagram.
And he's 17.
And he was the one that was underage.
So
yes.
Did he talk about the other one in that post today?
Yep. He said the account belonged to a 17-year-old aspiring wrestler, Jacob, before he deleted it. In the conversation, Jacob shared his interest in working as a wrestler one day.
Well, but no, hit me with the Jacob one then isn't as big a deal. Like, because this is, like, I want to know about the other one that apparently is worse. Like,
that's what I'm trying to find out, what the accusation was. He said, until I was accused of grooming by Joshua Fuller, unlike Jacob, I know Josh. I met Josh after my stint in Tough Enough, which we know is true.
Right.
He said, we developed a friendship through a mutual trainer at GXW. Josh shared to Twitter screenshots of the first time we communicated through text in 2016.
What did that
say? An autographed picture from when we met and an extremely contradictory story. Josh alleged that I made him feel uncomfortable, but contradicts himself twice by saying I was never sexual towards him. For those willing to research Josh's tweet accusing me, Josh's messages are in blue and mine are in gray. Josh claimed that he was a 16-year-old high school graduate and that he takes yearly trips with his friends to Orlando, Florida. I doubted what he told me, yet I kept my replies diplomatic and professional. The reality of the situation is that I was very helpful and respectful to Josh. Josh lives with his grandparents in rural southern Maryland. Josh got a concussion in 2017 and against my advice insisted on wrestling. My worry came from Josh severely injuring himself, specifically his brain. I suggested he take time off from training to see a doctor. He declined because he believed he could work through the concussion, and I cut all communication with him in 2018 because I didn't want to be a partially responsible party had he worsened his injury. So to have him accuse me of predatory behavior because I chose not to help was spiteful. Apparently, this person, Joshua Fuller, alleges that Velveteen Dream was trying to make sexual advances at him and made him feel very uncomfortable and was, sexual towards him in nature and had been trying to groom him after meeting him and talking to him for many years.
Oh, man.
So that's the accusations. And they never really clarified either thing, and now he's coming out saying like, okay, this is bullshit, and Joshua just has, he lives with his grandparents, and the other one is okay, you can say all you want about them, but
there's
it's like,
no
well,
proof
Jacob
of this?
deleted his social media,
but there's no proof of this anywhere.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so Velveteen Dream outright states that this is what caused his downfall. He said this is what. And he addresses the audio clip that surfaced as part of the allegations. He said they didn't believe they were actually talking to me. So to confirm, I sent them a clip, and that was the famous clip that you heard. But he never addresses the nude photo of him that was going around to the open DMs either. Was that you being hacked? Was that you dealing with, but was that actually you? That's not brought up.
Right. Why didn't you defend yourself back then? Because I would have lost my mind. I mean, even if I was in character as a wrestler, I would have lost my mind. I would have been like, how dare you try to say this about the dream, you disgusting pigs out there, and you know, these people are crazy, and everybody wants a piece of the dream, but this is disgusting. I absolutely didn't do any of this.
Defending himself was going against the character he worked so invested in so heavily to sell. People know the difference between kayfabe and reality, and that was the issue. You brought reality into the kayfabe. Everyone pretty much unanimously loved Velveteen Dream and wanted to see him succeed and thought he was this great thing that was going to be taking off on the main roster. Heaps of praise presented to him, and then obviously these accusations come out. He feels like he can't talk. Well, that's on him because you're not doing your character. You ruined your career by not speaking up.
You need to look at.
See if we can get this audio. Here it is.
What school do you go to?
Okay, that's fucking weird in itself.
So that's not that weird because he's asking the 17-year-old. He's asking the 17-year-old what wrestling school he goes to, not what school apparently. So he's like
he was talking to it, and the conversation, Jacob said I wanted to be a wrestler and said what steps would be required, and he messaged him a short list of things he should consider if he was serious, physique and promo to start, and he went on and on and on, and then the kid said I didn't really believe it was you, so he said I sent him a 30-second monologue in which I inquired about which schools he was closest to in relation to wrestling training.
Oh, wait a minute though. So I'm confused. He says what school are you going to? He says he was talking about like what wrestling school are you going to go to?
Yes.
Let me just hear that again.
What school do you go to?
Well, he's saying what school do you go to?
He said which school he was closest to in relation to wrestling training.
No, but wait, that's not what he said there though. Wait a minute.
Saying what school do you go to so I can tell you where to go for wrestling training.
Oh, okay. So you want to know what actual school, like high
where
school.
are you in location so that I can tell you where to go for wrestling training? And then he talked about his height and weight.
Well, but if you were trying to figure out like where a guy could go for wrestling school, you'd be like, what state do you live in?
What state are you from? Where, how close are you to this capital? Something like that. Something where they don't have to give exact information, but you can give a little approximation. Be like, oh, here, you can go here. So
no, that's also out of context too. No matter how you steer it, it's an out of context clip. Like what school do you go to could sound normal or horrific depending on the context. In this context, it sounds bad because they're the way it's played. So
yeah, and he's like, oh, and I did it in my dream voice to keep kayfabe, and the full voice message.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Jacob about his height, weight, where he trained, and what school he attended, which Jacob answered back with a voice message, and I continued to answer his questions until I politely wrapped up the conversation. And then the next day he woke up of tags and screenshots that didn't have anything to do with Jacob, and he was contacted by WWE's talent relations and social media departments to begin an investigation. And then they found out that he didn't solicit anyone. Yeah, but it was the grooming one that really was never answered. And then the nude photos that went around as well. He said that there was a private image that was stolen and he was hacked, but we never saw proof that he was actually hacked, just that his DMs were opened and that he did actually send these voice messages. So the one time this nude photo goes out, he admits to having his DMs open. He admits to having sent the voice messages. So there's a voice message going out and a nude photo, and you're like, so what's legit?
It's weird, but it's not really that concrete at all. Like it's not.
That's what I'm saying. It's all speculatory at best.
But when you look at it, he didn't. When you look at this, it appears he didn't do anything wrong. Like when you look at it, I mean, really, kind of.
The thing I can't answer for. I haven't looked into enough. But that was the one that followed him afterwards. So
let's hear this next one.
The fuck that means.
What school do you go to?
Shut up, nigga. We get it.
Whoa, this guy called him the N-word.
That's not good.
Whoa, I'm listening to a guy on YouTube play the clips, and he just called Dream the N-word. What the fuck? What? I mean,
the implication, it cost him his.
Well, is the guy who called him an N-word black? Because like this guy just called him an N-word. What the fuck?
So,
we are Bad Boys Patrol.
I never understood.
I hope he's a black guy. He just called Velveteen Dream the N-word. Like what the fuck?
Shouldn't no one say that though? Come on, really?
No, that was but I mean, like, he said it.
Weird in itself. I don't know what the fuck that means.
That guy sounds white to me. I think this guy, man. I think we found our next canceled person.
What school?
Yeah, really, no kidding.
Shut up.
Jeez.
What school do you go to?
Definition of adorable. Not. That's a little suspect. What?
Yeah,
What do you think
the
so?
voice
Yes,
message
I would
stuff
love
was
to
never
hear the
something
sound
that
of your
bothered
voice.
me. It was the
Little
nude
suspect.
messages that went
Or
around that he said he was hacked, but there was no proof that he was hacked. It was just proof that his DMs were willingly open to fans and he was messaging them in replies. There was never any proof that he was hacked when these nudes were sent. So, and then he says afterwards, you know, a personal image was stolen
I'm
without my
praying to the
knowledge.
fucking Lord.
So how is that? You know, that like defends it even more. Okay, so we know the image is real. We know his DMs are open. You confirm that. We know
Right.
that he didn't send the voice messages, so that's real too. So how do we know he didn't send the nudes to these underage people, like legitly? Everything
mean-
else is there. It's very suspect. I wanted to hear him defend himself, and he didn't for almost over a year, it feels like, just about at least. Yeah, April, you know, and then from there on out. So he didn't defend himself because he thought it would go against his character, which is ridiculous. And now it's too late for most of it. And we still don't have him defending the nude photos or really anything about the grooming accusation. He just says that I was helpful, and once I stopped talking to him, he became spiteful.
I mean, see,
He
I
didn't say I didn't groom
believe
him.
that because that wrestling fans do that all the time.
I'm sure he's right.
I think I
that
really
doesn't
that's what
prove
makes
you didn't
me
groom him, and that doesn't prove that you did either. So that's
but
the thing here.
That's why I sort of believe him, like in a way. I almost, but you don't know. You're right. I don't know, but it feels like if he got worried, like, man, I gotta break contact with these people, and like this guy's younger and weird, like, you know, that you would be like, I gotta get out of this, and then the kid's like, well, I'm gonna tell everybody, like or something. But you would think the kid would have concrete evidence. Then, like, here's the pit, you know, here's the thing.
He's
not the one who leaked that, you know.
No. And him making his first comments, I'm glad he's making some statements, but
is there anything else here? Hold on.
It's the latter. I hope he's praying. He's being nice to a fan, to God, for obvious reasons. But please, God, like,
what school do you go to?
Well, that's it. I guess that he just plays that clip over and over again, then calls him the N-word. I mean, I don't know. That's weird. Okay.
because I think that was all that was ever leaked.
Mm.
But he says in the full clip, this is what happened, and that just made him sound terrible.
This is a rough one. We got to get Velveteen on the show.
I would love to talk to him more and be like, okay, so if the photos are real, then what was the issue there? How did they get taken? I'm sure, you know, iClouds get hacked. There's some, you know, plausible explanation for all of this. But again, that's not even why we heard why he was released. That wasn't, I mean, WWE would have released him last year when they did let some people go over the rumors and whatnot. We just heard that from Brian Alvarez that, you know, he said that a lot of people were very uncomfortable with going to management about his behavior because he was close with management, Dream was, and it was indicated that Dream's release was not due to any allegations against him, but it was because of the behavioral issues that he's had, and there's been talk about his release for some time when he went to other promotions such as Evolve. So,
man, this is such a devastating thing. I thought he was clear cut.
Just on him being a hard person to deal with in back, and he had very bad behavioral issues, and that was a problem.
Well, you know that there's already something like wrong about his decision making because of talking to kids in the DMs. Like, he should know, like, oh God, I better be careful. Like, it's like me. It's like when some kid would reach out to me on Twitter or something and tell me certain things, like, I wouldn't go there on many things. I would say, like, you know, hey, man, I used to watch crazy shit when I was your age, too, you know, so I get it. But, yeah, you probably shouldn't be watching so late and watching me, really. But, you know, I get it. I watched crazy stuff when I was 14, 15 as well. So, yeah, I hope you're good. Hope you're all right. And that's about it. You know, I wouldn't get into, like, where do you live? Like, where do you... But, like, he could have said anything to that. So when he says, what school do you go to? I mean, he could have said... man, I just feel terrible because I don't have any wrestling program where I go to school, or, you know, my school is crazy because of this, that, and the other thing. And then he goes, well, what school do you go to? And he's talking like Prince, remember, because this character is inspired by Prince. So he's trying to speak in the Velveteen Dream character. And that's creepy, right? Because Prince, like, do you want some pancakes? Like, remember Dave Chappelle? And so, you know, I don't know. It all kind of adds up to sounding bad, but at the same time, there's no No kid has come out and said, here's the picture of his this, that, and the other thing. Here's the situations where I met with him here, there, or the other place. So as much as I get a weird vibe a little bit about it, it's the innocent until proven guilty part of me wants to defend him until something concrete comes in, man. The same way I defended Enzo and anybody else who we didn't really have the concrete evidence about.
Yeah, fuck the boys. Well, we have time? Yeah, it's one of those scenarios. I get you, but...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you just said, but...
The whole thing is just creepy. And
it's creepy. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Could have done more to defend him, and the rest of the allegations...
I know that I would have been screaming, Jake. I would have lost my fucking mind.
Everyone else was. And he was like, I wanted to keep to my character. Well, you're looking
That's
guilty.
Weird. That's bad, too. See, that's where you bring me back to I'm worried something's up with him, because... What? You wanted to keep to your character while you were being accused of like diddling kids or trying to diddle kids? Dude, I would have flipped the fuck out. I would have been like, I'm going to sue whoever fucking says this. I'm going to fucking, dude, I would have sued everybody. I'd be suing him now. My statement right there, that tweet that he tweeted out, my next statement in that statement that Velveteen Dream put out would have said, and I hate to do this, but I'm going after people legally because this has ruined my career. I believe it's clear as day to me. I didn't do this, and this is defamation of character. It's ruining my life, and I will litigate I will fucking go to court with every motherfucker that is out there involved in this.
And it took this long after getting fired for him to finally say something as well. So it wasn't all just...
They might have told him, They might have told him, don't say
30-day non-compete. He can speak as he wishes, I guess.
Okay. Well, I guess he would say something then. He would say they wouldn't let me talk about it. But he actually puts it on himself. He could have said...
He says he didn't want to, basically detract from the character he was working hard on creating.
I'm surprised he wouldn't say that...
This was the downfall of the character. This ruined it because no one cared for the character after this, because how could you want to be interested in a guy that's accused of horrid things, especially involving children?
It's weird that he wouldn't say that, I was scared about losing my job or making it worse and getting fired because of it. Because I didn't do it and I wasn't worried about it really, I just stayed away from it because I didn't think... I thought it was just some crazy stuff. People are so nuts on the internet now and everybody wants attention. I could I could see that, like, okay, you're afraid of getting fired if you brought it up at all or whatever. But, and, maybe him not bringing it up made WWE even more freaked out. I don't know. But we were shitting on WWE for a year, saying, like, they need to say something. They didn't say anything, and neither did he.
And he even explains how he, he said the character was conceptualized the day Prince passed away. And I knew nothing about him at the time, but I was thinking that I could use my interpretation of Prince to create an off-screen personality vastly different from whom I am as a person. Cue Velveteen Dream, a sexually ambiguous, gender-fluid, self-absorbed diva. And it worked. No doubt. The fans liked it.
If I'm Velveteen Dream, I'm suing somebody. I mean, there's no doubt. Like, I'm going after somebody hard.
And he says, after I had been accused, the opportunity to be storyline.
Like, even Twitter kids keep ruining people's careers.
Teens and young adults are having a heart condition after taking the back. They say it's a small number but still investigating. Yeah, not being a lab rat, sorry.
James Mesner, thanks for the $10, brother. Yeah, I'm all set with my teens getting anything right now. Thank you, though, James Mesner. I don't know how many kids have died of the thing. Like, what, 20 or something, 30? I don't know. 20 or 50, I don't know.
I haven't heard of any deaths from children.
For COVID?
For the vaccine?
Yeah, there's a couple, I think, but I don't know about...
Not heard
it's
of any
more
deaths.
symptoms.
Shit bomb! You become
I don't know.
a shit bomb.
How about Rey Fenix versus Rey Mysterio?
That could be pretty cool. Anybody against Rey Fenix right now, though, because that guy's just nuts.
Rey Fenix is awesome. And that's the thing, too. Like, think about what they could have done had you had these companies actually want to work together in ways. And WWE would benefit from the talent share because they're so dry at this point. They have no stars. And obviously, AEW would benefit vastly And there's ways you can do these kind of things like they're doing with Impact, but on a big scale.
No. A shit bomb.
What the fuck?
What are they doing with Cedric Alexander?
That's next is
We were discussing it briefly earlier, and for him to berate and attack his former tag partner, I guess it was to get in his head the entire time, but I don't quite get why they went this way, and then he wins on top of it.
And he won last. Didn't he win last time too? So is this 2?
Lost. Shelton won the time before.
Oh yeah. Shelton won.
So now they had this longer, drawn out rematch, and then it all revolved around him thumbing in the eye and getting the neuralizer, whatever it is, for the pin, in just shy of 12 minutes. And it wasn't a bad match, but it was so much slower than what we got from them before, because last time it was half the time and twice the action. Now it was 12 minutes instead of 6, half the pace of what they did before. I mean, we got a couple of high kicks and stuff, but that was it, because most of it came to Cedric just trying to berate Shelton again.
Right.
And it why they keep this going, I don't know why, because it would have made more sense for them to stay together. Why would they have them fight anyway? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
There's more of a reason to have the New Day be apart tonight we saw than these two.
It's just all like more stall matches, like just like stall match.
Out till they get in front of fans. They're just trying to. The best example of that tonight was AJ Styles and Jackson Riker. It was not even 2 minutes long, and obviously it all goes to, oh, now AJ loses again. The story they're telling is that AJ can't do anything without Omos behind him, and once they distract Omos, oh, AJ's nothing. That's AJ Styles now.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. Tag champs or not, that's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. It's boring.
Baffling. It's not just bad. It's baffling. I mean, that's AJ fucking Styles.
How do
you have the company and you have him as a tag champ with this giant?
Well, they hate AJ.
Apparently,
no, they hate AJ because ever since we talked about this when it happened. I said, well, he'll never be right. Is because he relinquished the world title. He said, Vince, get this WWE title off me. I don't want to tour like this anymore, and I don't want to be the champion. When you do that, I mean, dude, you knew like
Vince
Vince
never trust you again. So
like not that I don't know if it's they don't trust you as much as it like offends.
These are the king if you're going proverbial here, but yeah, that's what it comes down to. Because when you're the champ, you're the guy. Everything falls on your shoulders, and if you buckle under that pressure, Vince knows, and that he doesn't.
Yeah, like you don't want to be the champion. Like what the hell? You're AJ Styles was.
You don't want to do this? Yeah,
like,
that's how he looked.
Everybody knows AJ was being pushed to the moon. He had the title. He was on top of the company, and then he went, I want to get rid of the belt. I don't want to tour anymore this much. Can you do something? Get the belt off me. Vince did. AJ went down here, and he's been doing these goofy things ever since because Vince is like, well, that's what he wants to do. Okay, good luck. Vince hates him.
He has a short stint with the IC title or the US title, I think it was actually. And then after that, up with the Undertaker, and then nothing for ages, so.
Yeah, I mean, and that was his match with Undertaker was more about because him and Undertaker.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that wouldn't have happened either. But I mean, Vince. My point is, Vince isn't going to invest much in AJ because.
Yeah, the only reason he got that is because Undertaker requested it. Exactly.
Yeah,
it had nothing to do with AJ Styles. It's just because Taker trusted AJ to work well with him.
Vince doesn't want to do much with AJ because why do much with a guy who will tell you he's tired?
Look what they did tonight to Humberto. They had Sheamus again, but even with holding the tights, it's like, why? And then Ricochet runs out and hits a bunch of aerial maneuvers, a frog splash and a 450 and all this stuff. And looks like he's landing hard on Sheamus and really giving him some stiff ones too there. That looked like some painful landings. But what's the point of Ricochet? Both of these guys have been beaten clean multiple times now. So what's the point?
Well, if we team up 2-on-1, maybe we can beat him then. But what?
You're going to cut the title in half and share it?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
What are you going to do? Who gets the butt stuff and then you guys get to Velcro it together?
I don't understand where that's going at all.
You already know Ricochet likes it in the ass. So, I mean, Humberto, just log in and there you go, baby. You guys can wear the title together.
Ricochet finger blasting is shit bomb. Amazing.
#1 U.S. champ,
You
baby.
become a shit bomb.
Free bobblehead with every vaccination card. Baha.
What up, Derailed? What up, Drew? Yeah, you get a free bobblehead. I'm probably going to get mine soon. Well, Drew, you make fun of that, but you literally have your vax. So you're vaxxed. Drew's vaxxed. I'll probably be vaxxed soon, I would think. Maybe I caught fucking COVID at the goddamn wrestling show the other day. For all I know, it's like 300 people there. Oh, Gutierrez. What's up, Gutierrez? Andreas Gutierrez.
And, it's terrible, too, the way they change things with COVID. Like, my insurance used to be fully covered. Now it's only 80% responsible for things.
What?
Just to see this. Yeah, just to see the special. $200 to get my MRI.
You become a shit bomb.
I got no insurance.
New York Post. Governor Cuomo defends having his CNN anchor brother take part in high-level strategy sessions about his sexual harassment scandal, claiming that he gets guidance from other journalists all the time. Libs.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I've heard about that. And the Cuomos are liars, James. We know they're liars because the guy pretended to have COVID in the basement of his house, then he wasn't in there. So, yeah, there's another conspiracy that was true or whatever.
Yeah, he was quarantining, but really he wasn't. He was out riding his bike and stuff.
Right. And by the way, I've
how hard is it to really fake COVID for what do you have to? You just have to stay in your house for 2 weeks. That's too hard for these people. Really, like to commit to it. You're telling this lie, and you just can't stay inside and not ride your bike for a couple of days.
Yeah, you're on national news, and you don't think someone's going to see you?
That's what I'm saying. Get a Peloton and ride in your house if you're really that desperate to do so. Ride.
Think about that though. An American CNN news anchor said he had COVID, pretended that he was in his basement in his house trying to stay away from his family at all costs, but actually was around his family and was out looking at his other house one day. And then when they were going to film again, he went down into the basement, pretended to come up for the first time and look around and say, "Oh my God, it's great to be out of there." And they film it all as if it's real. And then
virgins from the basement with this stunned look like he'd never seen his second floor.
And no one really covered it much. No one cared. Yeah, he lied. Oh.
No, they all went back to Trump bad, so.
Yeah.
That's the only rhetoric.
It's just weird. If someone else had done that, they would be canceled probably or something. Or
well, it depends on who and where you are and how you're connected. And his brother was too well connected with everything going on with New York with the virus and had too many people's lives hanging in his balance that I don't think people were gonna.
The funny thing is, Jake, when he announced he had it, a lot of people said this, but I cynically said, "Yeah, right. Let's see if he really has it." I don't even believe him.
At the time that he announced, and so few people had it at that point too, in that area. The way it was just very, very odd. Yeah. Pelosi getting her hair done, prancing around Chinatown. Yeah, everybody saying hug everybody and get out and
now
hug everybody and forget the mask.
I do understand a politician trying to make sure that they overprotect or control you because they're trying to make sure people don't take it lightly. They're trying to overcompensate so people don't just go out and think it's okay. They're almost trying to kind of scare you a little bit. So I understand that part. I get it, right? I get trying not to make a panic. That's why they didn't tell us about the gasoline issue at first because they were like, we don't want people going out and filling up plastic bags and shit like they ended up doing.
And it turns into an issue. It wasn't an issue, but it would become one if it got out. It's what people turned it into.
And so, I get that. And so, and I get, the Pelosi thing or whatever. But the one thing that you can't get over is that Cuomo thing is so goofy. That is so fucking weird, But good point, I guess, by James Mesner coming in with the $20, which I guess actually ties you for top dog, James. So thank you, James. Well, I'll put James Mesner. We'll give you the whole name, but we're gonna have to extend this branch. We got a few more donos. Let me play them because we're running real late tonight. We're having all kinds of fun. The politics always creep in somehow. I don't know how it's happening. James Mesner again. What up, James?
Biden just dropped student debt cancellation down to 0. That's right, the Biden administration has decided to cancel $0 in student debt. Everybody must feel like real suckers, smiley face.
Yeah, I said this. I tried to say this to Leah earlier the other day or something. She said I was wrong or something. I don't know. Is that true?
would have to look into. I don't know enough about it. So
Biden just dropped student debt cancellation down to 0. That's right. Biden administration has decided to cancel $0 in the student debt. Everybody must feel like suckers. Oh yeah, he's not doing it. I do know that he's not doing anything he said he was going to do. Yeah,
seems like it's been
like all the stuff he told the people he was going to do, this, that, and the other thing, and yeah, he's not doing it.
Yeah, I don't want to say the wrong thing, so I haven't looked into it. But if
I
that
knew
is the
that.
case, it's not shocking. So
I knew that was going to happen, so I'm not surprised. It's say a bunch of stuff you're going to do, then don't do it. That's usually what happens with that.
Shit bum.
Patrick Clark is clear in my book. He said he kept silence as long as he could so that the character he built wasn't destroyed. Meaning he was keeping kayfabe. Look at all his interviews, kayfabed all of them.
Yeah, that's a good point, Alex Holy. I really do have a tough time without concrete evidence. You know, I really, I mean, I feel a little better than I used to about it, but I still don't feel 100%. But I feel a little bit better. I feel like. I just think he made a bad decision holding it in. I think he should have broke kayfabe. So if anything, he's guilty of, he should have protected himself better in the public image, you know. Santa War, thanks for subbing to the channel, Santa War. What's going on?
it's like those that don't speak up. It just makes you feel guilty. And he never even said oh, Velveteen Dream does he could have done it in character and acknowledged it, and that would have been better than nothing. Really, I mean, not exactly would you want that, but I mean, better than what we got for a year with him just not acknowledging anything.
Well, and here's the question about that political question is did he have to drop it because it wouldn't have passed if he didn't drop it? I mean, is that something? I don't know.
Who knows?
Not sure how it works. Not sure how that works. Someone else have to tell me. CR21 dropped $1, and it didn't. I don't see that donation anywhere. CR, thank you for the $1. It didn't pop up. Maybe because under $3 doesn't register, so that's probably why.
Sometimes, yeah. But
we got to get the hell out of here, man. We've been on a long time. Oh shit, Joe Bishop. Joe Bishop.
Brother, I'm a black man and still got the Pfizer. I now yell Pfizer in a German accent.
Pfizer!
It's safe, lol.
What up, Joe? That's fucking crazy. Pfizer! Well, no, you should get it. Absolutely. And you take that vitamin D, brother. You got to take that vitamin D, man. You know it. Dude, I'm taking a shitload of vitamin D. And by the way, all the studies just came out. Multiple studies just came out. You guys can go Google this. Vitamin D making a huge impact on saving people who act not. And by the way, this isn't a study for vitamin D with people that then get the virus and then recover. This is people who took extraordinary amounts of vitamin D while sick. So there was a 30%, 40% or something. Or no, it was higher than that. It was like 60%. Go Google it. You guys Google it. Look it up your own shit. But it was something crazy. It was like fucking, and it was a shitload of vitamin D. Like it was a near unsafe levels of vitamin D, like levels of short term, but like crazy levels of vitamin D, like that you normally wouldn't take. And it helped big time. It's like 60% more positive results. When 1,000 people took this fucking huge injection of vitamin D, their bodies just fucked over COVID. Like, it was crazy. So look that up, especially if you're black, because you're not getting enough vitamin D if you work in an office or in your house. Because I'm not getting enough.
Mind if I do?
I'm not getting enough, and I'm pale, and it's coming right into me.
Duncachino. You want creamy goodness? I'm your friend. Say hello to my chocolate
blend.
I'm hoping one day everyone regrets their vote for this man, but I guess no more mean tweets, right?
I'm hoping one day he regrets for the... Yeah, I mean, maybe. Maybe James Mesner. But honestly, it never solves anything. It's just people, if they're wrong, they just don't even... Nobody says they're wrong or they're that, well, maybe I was whatever. Well, I guess we did with Bush. Some people did with Bush. They were like, all right, that guy was fucked. You know? Like people that were like, yeah, let's go to the war. We believe it. Like, and then they were like, all right. Slowly over years, people would like, even the Bush supporters were like, wait a minute. This guy fucking lied to us.
Years into Obama to admit that, though. Really.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I wouldn't consider that like a victory, but
I knew George Bush was bad, like the minute he stopped the stem cell research. And then the second that the Patriot Act was passed, I was like, oh.
I knew in Connecticut we could see months before 9/11, just the war machine gearing up again.
Mm-hmm.
And, everything goes back into production here, and Sikorsky and all the, they just start making, and, it's like, oh, look at that. Orders are in. So what's coming next?
How does the vice president who has massive stock in a weapons company get to be the vice president and then get to profit from the weapons made? It's just like, how is that not written somewhere?
His tie-ins and Cheney, and so there's so many people that have conflicting interests that it's amazing. They're supposed to put their interest into specific, people's hands but it never works that way.
It's like remember when people said this about Trump? Like they were saying that Trump couldn't be president because he has too much business involvement in his business. But it was like, what do you mean Trump can't be president in his business? Dick Cheney ran the weapons company that we used in the war that we went to. So if that...
There's been that for ages, that people have had, certain positions while in Congress or the Senate, or, it's not anything alien by nature.
B the Messiah says, I know about vitamin D from my black doctor. She's a great listener and doesn't run my black ass out of the room. What do you mean by that, B? You saying the white doctors would run you out of the room? I mean, they do that to me, too. Some doctors run me out of the room. They'll run anybody out of the room. Some doctors listen. Some doctors run you out of the room. It really doesn't matter what color you are. I've experienced tons of white doctors that will do well, and some other ones will rush you out of the room. They don't give a shit. Some of them will overprescribe you. Some of them will underprescribe you. I don't know.
I'm not some crazy BLM supporter either, but there was this interesting case study that I read the other day about how it's legitimately proven that black women are disparagingly treated worse, like by a great percentage.
I'm not shocked.
In all birthing centers across the United States, and how there was just a very obscenely large statistic and number of babies that could have been saved had they been treated like an actual patient should be. There's so many instances where mothers were going to labor and would be sent home, or an issue would arise and the doctors or nurses wouldn't listen to the patient because of their race. And they would say, something's wrong, I'm in pain. They'd be like, that's normal, just shut up. And really something would be wrong.
Well, okay, so let me just step in on this, because this has happened to my family, like what you're describing, including my my grandmother. My grandmother went with this. If my mother wasn't at the hospital, they were going to kill my grandmother. My mother was like, wait, she can't take that medicine. And she was saying it, and they weren't listening to her. And if my mother wasn't there, they would have killed my grandmother.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not just specifically related to race, but it was showing how there is a disparaging amount of issues because of race. So it's bad enough because there's doctors that just get out of practicing, do no harm, and either through laziness or whatever, they lose their passion. They pull an HBK and lose their smile, but it happens, and people get burnt out, and they don't care about patients as much, or they are actually racist, and that's it too. So
I find that now here's the one thing you can definitely say about this, especially to be in the chat. When you do get people that are different, like say if you get some people that are like, maybe they're not even really racist, right? But they sort of, there's some people subconsciously like kind of don't vibe with different race, right? Like no matter what. Like my grandmother was an old white lady. This hospital was all Hispanic and other races. It wasn't really, there was almost no white people working at this hospital, and they almost killed her, Now they all spoke Spanish, all the nurses and stuff. I don't know if that played into it, but I've seen all white nurses and doctors almost fuck it up too. But you're right, there is a disparity potentially in that, where people I don't know why. I mean, what do you call that? How do you explain that other than you're seeing someone not as human as you? Right? Because you think like, oh, they're not like me, so these people are always this way or that way, or they're like tuning you out because they feel like you're like, so if you think like white ladies are always complaining, right? You always think the white women are always Karens and complaining. So you're like, the white lady's like, make sure you don't do this because I'm allergic to something. And you're just like, yeah, okay, Pam, whatever, here we go. the white women always ask for this shit like they're special. And then they kill Pam because they saw her as like an annoyance. Same thing with the white doctors. With maybe they're like, oh, these women are always this way. They're always crazy about this, that, and the other thing. It's like they're not.
It's in his name, Velveteen Dream. It all makes sense now. The black tip. Should we call him sexual predator chocolate now?
Garguts.
Nicotine Dream for so long. So.
Oh my God, the black tip.
Hardy, 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 Hardy!
Garguts.
Lee Barker says mayonnaise people. I love that one. Mayonnaise people. We're all a bunch of bumheads. I don't know why though, man. I don't know why people see that way. I love listening to people and helping them. Like, so I would, if I was a Dr. B, I would take care of you in a heartbeat. Plus, I'd stare at your badge. But no, I'm just kidding. I'd take care of you. I love you. But yeah, it's really important you always look out for your... I think any race. I really think any race, Jake. I think no matter what, if there's a hospital filled with one race and you're a different race, no matter who you are, you should always look out to make sure that they're giving the right care and no one's... You know, I mean, it's because people just sometimes, you know, if you get in a group versus another group, it's not that people are really trying to be that way.
There is that tribalism mentality. It does happen.
Yeah, something about that tribalism or like resentment comes out.
You've had hospitals where it was all mixed races together, but they ended up disparagingly or treating less wealthy people, you know, anyone poor that came to the doors, they were really, really rude to. And that was one of the other case files that I read. And so it was interesting how race played no factor, but it was strictly wealth. So anyone, you know, that came in that was disabled, like myself, or anyone in that had, you know, state insurance, things like that, they treated them very poorly and looked down upon because they knew they were going to get paid less for those treatments. And
the one thing you can't ignore,
the
one thing you can't ignore, even if you're rolling your eyes at this, right? And we're not even talking about wrestling now. It's crazy. Even if you're rolling your eyes at this or rolling your eyes at B in the chat and you're like, oh my God, come on, man. Like these people always crying about something, like whatever. But what you can't ignore is that so many black women say this. And so to me, you know, there's something going on where, and, you know, I'm sure some people are saying like, oh, they're just ridiculous and they're being spoiled and ridiculous and they want special treatment. I don't know, but a lot of women, black women say this. Like, so either way, even if the doctor is a piece of shit to other people, right? Let's say they're not disparaged. Maybe the doctor is kind of shitty to everybody, but more shitty to them, or even it's even. I don't know. It just tells me that a lot of doctors probably need to work on their empathy.
Yeah, and it was showing how
Like,
the
lot.
CDC is showing data how that for every 100,000 live births, 37 black women died while pregnant within 6 weeks of pregnancy, compared to only 12 Hispanic women and 15 white women.
What's the science behind that?
This is from heart.org that I was reading here, but part of it is dealing with racism but even before.
What's the science behind that? That's what I want to know. Is like, what's the science behind the death of the child?
Oh, they've researched every last bit of this, so I don't know the exact details here, but I know that they've researched every case individually to find out how they died, what they died from. I think that was the whole point of this study. So
I mean, it's there. By the way, there's nothing wrong with studying why people. You know, what I mean, I know some people roll their eyes like, oh, you know, these people are all just want.
You were able to see how like it was stress and compounding with other actual issues of structural racism that impacted these women, specifically black women.
Okay, so I get that. Now we're making sense here. I like it. Now we're getting into the more science. So like bad living conditions, bad drinking water, bad water supply.
Yeah, part of it, and also how they treated
lead
at the hospital specifically too.
Maybe lead. Yeah, maybe how I don't
So
know.
it was living conditions and how they were faring with health coming into the hospital, and you know, versus other races, and the treatment that they received while in the hospital as well.
And you may come out of this study, if you investigated the shit out of this, maybe you come out of the study and it's only a couple little things that happen that are the reason why this is happening. Or you may come out of the study and you may find out like, this is big factor right here. We found it. there's nothing wrong with looking into it and figuring out what it is. Like, dude,
and
children are dying. Children are dying. Like, there's nothing wrong with trying to figure out how can we save more children. That's not a big problem.
That's one of the things they study here is how, people don't have access to healthy food, green spaces, job opportunities, good housing, healthcare, insurance, things of that nature. And it's usually, wealth disparaging areas, and that's what they're addressing as well. So, I mean, there's a whole bunch of just like structural racism that's built in here that needs to be abolished before anybody can get ahead.
Yeah, breakout Google is right. It's fair to ask, and it's going to take a lot of studying in a different way.
Absolutely.
I'm down with it, man. Let's study it. I'd love to save these women, make sure everybody gets seen the right way and heard, and their health taken care of, no matter what color they are. You're supposed to get good care.
It shows I'd rather talk about this than Raw.
Yeah, well, Raw is so. Well, we talked about Raw. It's 1:45. We should have been off the air 40 minutes ago. We're giving you extra overtime here.
That's right.
But no, like, I'm not down with the Chicago mayor who thinks it's okay to just interview white people or black people and no white people. White people aren't allowed. Okay, that lady's weird, but this is something that you could definitely look at, like with but it could be a poverty thing too. What if you looked at poverty levels, and because it happens to white people too. So, like, I wonder.
Yeah, it was, like I said, and it showed how, but it was just an overabundance of black women specifically dying way in proportionate compared to every other counterpart.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm
Like
interested.
double or triple in some cases.
Interested to see that study, man. And regardless of maybe 85% of the nurses could be great. All the white nurses and other nurses, and even Hispanic nurses and other nurses, they could all be great. But there could be 15% who are just slightly treating people a little bit differently, and that's fucked up. But like you said, it's not directly the nurses in the hospitals as much as all the stuff leading up to it. Like, they're not getting instructed the right way about what to do. Like they're not as some people, and people that are less educated too. If there's less educated people, like, no matter who they are, of any race or whatever, they're not getting told certain things that they may just take for granted. Then the people at the hospital take for granted.
Yeah, and it shows how white women that don't graduate high school and go through pregnancy survive. I think it was like 4 times as often as black women that do, and there were some really like important numbers there. But it basically showed what you were saying, like how they're saying that the lack of education makes a difference specifically for black women because they're even less able to have the benefits that others do. So.
Joe Cronin and Jake, BLM supporting SJW
it was just
show.
Really interesting, tidbit, dealing with all the medical stuff like I always do, and it really just kind of this all started because we were talking about telehealth versus what's going to limit.
And now I got a cough, Jake. So I got COVID, brother. Here it comes.
It did come from the wrestling.
Here it comes. Have you seen The Amazing Racist? No, I haven't seen that.
You've never seen The Amazing Racist?
Oh, maybe I have seen him. He's a YouTube guy, right?
Well, that one, or you could be referring to Ari. So it depends on.
Oh, yeah, I have seen him.
Yeah, Ari
not
Shaffir
really
did The Amazing Racist stuff for ages ago, and that was hilarious.
Steve.
But they also have a YouTube channel of The Amazing Racist too. So
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, so we're just asking questions here. We're not lecturing either, by the way. We're just kind of asking questions like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at it.
Always trying to learn more.
Yeah, so anyway, we're out of here. I think we talked a lot about wrestling earlier, and then we got into all these funny other and serious topics.
Well, yeah, but it stemmed from, actually saying, like, will you be able to go to wrestling at all in the future because we don't know how the vaccines are going to work?
Yeah.
Oh, he was referring to Ari Shaffir. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
Ari.
Oh, yeah, poor Ari. He got fucked.
He actually came back quite strong after the whole Kobe stuff, and people kind of just glossed over that because of COVID, I feel like.
Mm.
I didn't stay that mad at him because now he's been doing tours and back out. He did a lot of stuff.
Louis C.K.'s back, too, and all he did was jerk off. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think we might be starting to see the cancel culture swing around. And now that Hollywood doesn't need China anymore, because China basically, first of all, we're not making money with China anymore as much in Hollywood. And now now they're talking shit to each other. This is over. So our movies are going to go back to being pretty good again. Maybe, eventually. And all this woke stuff and SJW shit is just fucking sucks and is making no money. So anytime soon when we can go back to shitting on each other for our differences and having fun again, Love to bring that time back. Let's get back to shitting on each other for our differences because it's fucking hilarious. And then loving each other again. And then the movies, we don't have to fucking make a whole movie boring because China doesn't believe in ghosts. Like, all right. So, sounds like better times are coming. Maybe.
And even worse than that, I guarantee we're going to get another rematch of Natalya and Tamina taking on Shayna.
Oh, my
and
God.
And they already booked a rematch next week of Kofi and Drew for the #1 contendership. So next week's a recap too, but thankfully we have.
But in reality, you would have just restarted the match. I just thought Adam Pearce comes out, all right, restart it. We're gonna have a winner. That's it. Like, thank God.
Yeah, I was hoping for that after 22 minutes of them fighting, but I would have to give Raw probably a 3.5. I mean that Riddle match was really good. It was, and most of the Kofi match was good with Drew as well.
Yeah.
Sadly, everything else just fell to shit.
Right. It absolutely fell to shit.
And they had some things that could have worked too. It could have been interesting with Rhea Ripley and Nikki Cross, but they shit the bed by actually having it be a full 2-minute time limit. That was ridiculous. And the way they transitioned into the next match, and the way they put Asuka out to pasture again after another 22-minute match. It just always has this this again.
It couldn't have been someone else too instead of Asuka again. You could have had Asuka against somebody else and have her win against someone lower level.
Cross, maybe that would have made more since you could have held off on. It's just a lot of it doesn't make sense. So
very boring. Whatever. I agree with Jake. I'm gonna give it a 3. I'll go lower and give it a 3. Todd Fair, James Mesner, thank you. If you guys have questions for EC3, the tweet is out there. Go comment on my Twitter account. I guess that's really about it. Maybe go support Title Match Wrestling. Check out all the shit. 50% off for 3 months with my coupon code Cronin.
Send in your questions for the Jake and Joe podcast too, because we'll have that in the next few days as well.
I'll have the post for that up then later on Patreon. So me and Jake get back to our podcast where we talk about kind of everything but wrestling. So if you like the everything but wrestling discussion with me and Jake, you'll like Jake and Joe podcast up on Patreon. And I'll have the questions posted on Patreon tomorrow. Discord is back. You guys can comment again on Discord.
And Glorious 1.0 said he donated, but it didn't get put up. I don't know if it just didn't work or what. But
what? Really? No, wait. He donated earlier and we played it.
Yeah, he said he used the Evil Spectrum link, but...
Oh, I see it. It's on the other one.
All right.
Let's see what Let's see what he said here. Let's see here. Wait, is he? Well, he's not. He didn't donate under that name though, did he? He donated under a different name.
I don't know.
I mean, he did donate earlier, and it did pop up, Glorious. But he donated. I guess I didn't. Apparently, I'm not sure if this guy is him or is. Wow, this is interesting. What's he saying though? Oh no. Oh my God, no. Oh my God. Well, this isn't going to go over well.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Shit bum.
I love Toes tipped $5. Behead the gays.
Oh.
Oh, that's definitely not Glorious, but hey.
Are you sure I Love Toes isn't Glorious?
I don't know.
After all this time, I Love Toes is Glorious?
But I don't know. I think it's too obvious.
My brother-in-law is gay, though. I don't want to lose him. I don't want to behead him.
Maybe it's
Jesus
a sex
Christ.
move that we're not up to
you're right.
up to snuff with at this
could
point. You don't fully decapitate the person. You just cut a hole like a trach, and then you fuck them in the throat.
That definitely could be a finisher.
I'd come in that.
Now, Glorious, we did hear your donation earlier. It said we played it. It was Glorious 1.0. Glorious 1.0 became a member, and he also, I thought, donated. Didn't he donate? I swear to God, we played his donation. We talked about it. I don't know. Maybe, I don't see it now. We played your. You became a member again. I saw that. I'll look for it on my PayPal list. I'll refund it if I see it. That's weird. But Glorious, thank you, brother. I don't know what happened. I swear to God, we all saw it earlier, though. Anyway, we better get out of here. Jake, any last words? Probably not, but,
That's it, baby.
Right.
Everyone check out the Patreon. That's what we need. Let's get those Patreon numbers back up so we can go ahead and have a nice long-ass stream again.
Hippie Jump, Ryback was a scumbag to me and everybody, and he's kind of an asshole. But I also agree. I don't really hate Ryback still. You know, I don't hate anybody. He's a goof. You know, leave him be. It's funny. He's okay. You know,
you need Ryback's reaction to the Ryback rap. That's what
the Ryback rap. You want me to fucking finish it? I hope you die of COVID, Joe. How about that? I hope you got COVID from fucking Brian Pillman Jr. and you die.
Hardy, 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 Hardy!
I wish that shitty
Glorious
music
is fucked up. He just said he only did the membership, but he thought it was not read out. So
yeah, we
Makes
did play
sense.
it. We did play it. Thank you, Glorious. That's fucking hilarious. He's fucked up. Yeah, if you become a member, everybody, you get the cool green shit on your stuff, and eventually you can get the Leah, the sexy my wife's picture, and Jake's, and everybody's. Thank you,
Yeah.
Glorious. But yeah, if you're a $10 VIP patron, make sure you hit me up about getting your gold badge on Discord and all the unlockability shit. And if you're a $25 patron or above, make sure you hit me up about that too. So that's about it. I'm going to leave a screen on with some of the producers because you guys are keeping the shows alive. I went to part-time, so got to make some more money here on YouTube. Producers meeting is going to take, or our little hangout, the round table is going to take place next Sunday. You guys are voting on that. And that's it. We're out of here. Shout out to the producers. Good night, Jake. See you soon. Talk to you soon.
Hey, sexy baby.
Maybe my throat's fucked up just from all the announcing I've done. That could be why I have like a big lump feeling in my throat. That really could be it. Shout out to the $25 and above producers. I hope everybody's on here, but I may have missed one or two. I'm going to double check it tomorrow. If it's not right, I'm going to fix it and leave it up for 30 days. So thank you to the producers. You guys are fucking awesome. Without you guys, I can't do these shows, so it means a lot that you guys drop that much of your money to support the show. You guys know you're keeping it alive. So we're at 301 patrons on Patreon. You're going to hear podcasts you can't hear on YouTube on Patreon. And we can't do it without all you guys, so thank you so much for the large donations, especially during Monetize this Saturday night, rather. Corrupted Podcast returns this week. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Hardy, Hardy, Hardy,